Hello, everyone. So today I have a real special treat for everyone. So if you're not aware, I have the two hosts of the That's So Hollywood podcast, the best podcast on the internet. I'm a little biased because they asked me to be a guest a little while ago. But if you're not subscribed to them, I have Colin and I have Rex from That's So Hollywood podcast. Guys, thank you for being here today. Thank you so much for agreeing to be on my stream.
Very welcome. What's up?
Yo, what up? Thanks for having us, Sasha.
Absolutely.
Sasha's the GOAT. Glad to be here.
Colin and Rex are the GOAT.
Sasha's a baller, actually. A baller.
I don't know how to top that now. Like I'm not up on what the kids say these days. So, but Colin and Rex, guys, for everyone watching on my channel who maybe hasn't like watched the podcast or listened to the podcast, the day we recorded, we ended up talking for like hours after recording the podcast. And so it was only right for us to do this because we didn't know what it would be able to do with getting back on the podcast or getting all together at the same time podcast again. So now we're here. So I'm going to go through a couple of just the introductions, and then I have a couple questions to ask Colin and Rex. But if you guys have anything for them, for all of us, just general movie or life questions, go for it in the chat, basically. Jack stopped by. Jack always stopping by, even though he's at work. The GOAT. There might be some things coming up with all three of us. So you're going to want to subscribe to Jack's channel, which is now Jack Lotteray. You guys see that he rebranded?
Yeah, I saw it yesterday. I was like confused. I saw his like thumbnail pop up, said goodbye. I was like, and then it was like it was kind of clickbaity, but it worked, you know.
It worked. It worked for him, I think. It worked.
Everything's got to be clickbait. I don't trust anything I click on anymore.
Assume that everything.
Even my own shit.
Did I really do this and say this?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Alex is here. Alex, thanks for stopping by the stream. Monique, I hope I didn't make you way too long. I apologize. Go to bed. Like, don't even worry about it. Marvel Duo, hey. All right. And then Michaela is here. Yusef is here again. First time watching That So Hollywood. 123 Rock Fan. You need to go subscribe to them. And Rylan is here. So that's all our hellos for now. Okay, the first question I want to ask, and Rex, Colin and I were talking about this a little bit before you came in. Colin and I have been texting quite a bit about what like a movie is that like you just assume anyone that's kind of into movies has seen, or like what would you say is the one that you would be like, if someone hasn't seen that movie but's interested in movies, you'd be like, no, like you need to have seen this movie. Like if you had to pick one or a couple, maybe, what would
Donnie Darko.
That's a shot at. That's a shot at me.
That's a shot at Colin. Yeah, Donnie Darko. I would say most American-made movies you're gonna come across in your lifetime. So I'd say like a lot of foreign movies, stuff like that. Besides maybe like Parasite, is usually the ones that I'd be like, oh yeah, you probably haven't seen that, but you have to see it. So stuff like that. Definitely like smaller ones, Bottle Rocket, stuff like that. I would definitely say definitely Donnie Darko, and that's a straight shot at Colin.
It's a shot. It's a shot. Well, because I said my favorite actor was Jake Gyllenhaal, and I hadn't seen Donnie Darko, even though he completely ignored the fact that I had seen all his other movies, basically his popular stuff.
Dude, Donnie Darko is the one. It's such a cult classic. We were talking about that when I was up in San Francisco, and I was like, Donnie Darko is the one that you have to see to be like, holy shit. Because I didn't really even like Jake Gyllenhaal until I saw Donnie Darko, and I was like, that was really good. I like this guy.
He's great. And I just feel like you guys had talked about on the podcast how he was almost Spider-Man. But I think he works better with Mysterio, which is kind of the conclusion you guys came to. But he's great, so I guess I fall in that club of not having seen Donnie Darko.
Yeah, I haven't seen it. Obviously, you told me.
I just saw it during the pandemic because my girlfriend was like, she said the same thing to me, and I was like, it sounds like a whatever movie, and then I watched it, and I was like, that was fuck crazy.
You guys can swear too. I don't care.
Yeah, let it rip.
One way. I think it's really funny because we had a conversation about this last time we filmed a podcast together of how like I have a Bible verse in my like personal Instagram like bio, and Rex is like, oh okay, like I'm gonna like simmer down, and then I said something. I think we were talking about getting Al Pacino like Al Pacino's coffee bitch or something.
Oh
And we
yeah,
just
something like
okay,
that.
we're all good to go. But Colin, do you have any that are like other than the ones you've already called me out for?
Well, yeah, I called you out for School of Rock, but like that doesn't, I don't think really go for everyone. I just assume that like that's like, I feel like that's like your vibe. I feel like you would
Yeah.
really, really like School of Rock. It's a
Totally.
comedy. It's got music, and like I just, I mean, there's some. I saw someone in the comments say like Inception and Pulp Fiction. Those are the obvious ones. Yeah, I mean, it's kind of hard to say. I mean, there's some ones that have came out that I feel like, as far as like film student that I think are really important. Like Manchester by the Sea, I think is one that came out that I was like, oh, you need to see that if you're into filmmaking. Uncut Gems is another one that came out recently. I was like, that like I feel like is really good. And then it was like Goodfellas and like Seven. And have you seen those, Sasha?
I have not
Oh
seen
my
any of the movies that you just listed. So
Goodfellas
my
is
goodness.
Goodfellas is a
Goodfellas is
good one.
great.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, like some of those right there. American Beauty, Taxi Driver. Those are some other ones.
I'll redeem myself there. I've seen that movie.
Yeah. American Beauty is like probably my first like favorite movie of all time. When I first saw it, like I had realized, okay, I liked movies. I saw that film and I was like, that's different. Like that is like a different level of, I had never seen anything like it at the time. And now it's like not even in the top 10, but like I'll always remember that one for being one of my favorite movies of all time. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's the one about the married couple, right? With what's his name?
Kevin Spacey. He's like going through.
Kevin Spacey.
Yeah.
For a lot of those, I ended up like having the DVDs or something. And so I'm like, oh, okay, well, I don't need to catch it while it's on some like streaming platform. And so then it just ends up like I've never seen it, even though I literally have it to watch. I just feel like I just always push stuff like that down.
I watched like the first 10 minutes of that movie. I never got around to finishing it. I forgot what I was watching it on, but it was something that like I always forget I have. It's like I have all these streaming services and I'll be like, oh, I forgot to check this one, what's on there. And then I saw it and I started it and then just like passed out or something.
It's definitely hard to like keep track of because stuff moves around so fast. That's why I didn't see Rex. I admitted this to Colin, which I won't go into detail because I don't know how much Jack wants me to say about it. But I had not seen Kill Bill prior to us filming our movie drafts.
I thought you said that, or was that Jack? I thought that was Jack.
Maybe it was Jack.
I thought you guys both mentioned it. Did you watch it?
Maybe I did. I watched both parts this weekend because I was like, they're both on HBO Max and they were both going to leave at the end of the month. So I was like, I got to do this. And I really liked the animated part. And
isn't it super cool?
But like, I thought it was awesome the way they told that story. Because I feel like it wouldn't have worked if they just cast another like little girl as Lucy Liu's character. Like, I just don't think that would have worked as well.
Yeah. And Uma Thurman's a complete badass, and the fighting scenes in there are just like so crazy. And like, people will be like, "Oh, the gore in that movie is just like too much." I'll be like, "Dude, it's so obviously like fake. Like, I don't think that's even close to like how it's just like so much blood that like it does." For people like me, I was like, that doesn't even seem real. It's just like funny and entertaining.
Yeah. He did it like too much to the point where it became still entertaining, but like to where you could like know it's a movie and still enjoy it and not be like completely freaked out or anything. You know what I mean?
Like when you watch Saw or something, you'd be like, that's too real. I'm gonna throw up.
Yeah.
No, I feel like when it's more like I'm really bad with needles. And so like anytime there's like stitching or like an IV or anything in a movie, like I can't do that. But like, yeah, with Tarantino or like even The Boys, like I tell people it's gory, but like it's not really gory. Like you said, it's not like Saw or something. It's like you can understand that that's not real.
It depends on like how realistic. Like I have a hard time watching the cutting off arm scene in 127 hours because that actually happened. He actually had to cut off his arm in real life. And like that seems like something you would have to do. That's like plausible. Whereas like you watch like Thor chop off Thanos' head in the beginning of Endgame, you're like, oh, it's not a big deal at all. Like we don't really see it very much, and even there's a scene where a girl gets her head chopped off in Kill Bill, I think Volume 1, and it's like, and the blood goes everywhere, and it's like just not that.
It was
bad,
like her.
but like
It was like her scalp or something. It was something weird. It wasn't like her whole head. It was like she got like. It was like right here, right? She got like scalped or
I thought
something.
In the second one, she cuts off one of the people's head at that like table when Oshiri, I don't remember her name, but like her when she's at like
Oh
her
yeah.
she
At the meeting where her like I forgot who it was. It was the person with that weird swinging mace thing, and she just like got up and just like cut off the dude's head, right?
Yeah.
she like flew across the table. That part is sick. Forgot about that part.
It's awesome, but the way like even the blood comes out, it's like, okay, that's so obviously not real that it's not.
Yeah.
Like, by the time you even process that, like, ooh, someone just got something cut off, you like don't even notice because it's fake.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Yeah, I like with the 127 hours one, it's just hard because like it's like slow. It's not like a clean. It just, I even have a hard time with that, you know.
Yeah, I think one of the worst for me was I saw. Oh, I can't even remember the name of it. It was one of those movies that like no one will probably ever see because it was just not memorable. Like, it wasn't bad, it wasn't good, it was just not memorable. It had Blake Lively, and she was like trying to swim to a rock, and there was like a shark between.
Yeah,
the
The Shallows.
Yeah. So there's a scene where she has to stitch herself up in that movie, and she has to do it, I think, with like a fishing hook, and it is just like that is one of the grossest things I've ever seen in a movie, just because it was too like you said, long. Like, you could imagine someone having to do that themselves.
Have you seen The Martian with Matt Damon?
I've seen like half of it on TV.
There's a part where he has to staple like a wound, and that's kind of gross too. Where he gets like cut and he has to stitch himself together essentially, and that one's a little, you know.
It's just always like I can just do the over stylized thing, but when it's too slow, it's just like I genuinely don't. I'm glad people like it, but I genuinely don't understand how people can watch Saw.
Yeah, no.
I kind of like it at some points. I don't know. There's one where the ending is like they're trying to figure out who Saw is, and then like this guy literally gets like laser beamed, like the lasers just like fold into his head, and like it literally splits him into like 8 pieces like a pie. And that was one of the ones where I was like, oh, that is, because they don't even make lasers like that. So I was like, that is so obviously fake. And then like there's like 2 people looking at each other, and then like it happens to the first guy, and then the second guy like sees the lasers coming, he's like, oh shit, and then the first guy gets up and he was like, it was me the whole time, baby. And he like looks up and he sees there's no like laser markings above him. He's like, oh shit, and then he gets split into like 8 pieces.
Yeah.
When Spiral, when Spiral came out this year, I was so like, everyone was so hype and talking about the movie, and like everyone was really split, and I was like, I don't want to go watch the movie, but like I want to know. So I started watching all of these like Saw in like 5 minutes or Saw, and like the story there, I get like the story is super interesting, and like the concept of like giving people a second chance at life, but like it seems like it became way more about the gore than it did about the story at a certain point.
Well, Lee Winnell, I think, wrote the script, and he ended up directing The Invisible Man 2020. And the movie was really good. So he clearly has like a knack for like telling like interesting I guess horror stories. I really like The Invisible Man. That for a while last year, that was like my favorite movie of the year, and then like The King of Staten Island and Palm Springs and some other ones came out. But
I love Palm Springs too. I think
that was a good one.
You have like a favorite movie of last year, even though a lot of them are limited?
Questions like this are always hard because like I don't know when you ask me, and then I go back and look at some movies and I'm like, oh, I should have said that one. Like we got a question and it was like, what movies are you excited about this year? And I literally couldn't think of any. But then there's like Dune, The French Dispatch, a few other ones that I couldn't think of.
Last Night in Soho, Edgar Wright's movie.
The Green Knight. That one looks crazy. There's that one with Adam Driver too, where it's like medieval. Yeah. That looks super good. There's the one about those people, like the kids getting old on the beach. I forget what it's like.
That's old. It came out today actually.
Oh,
M
it
Night
came out today.
Shyamalan.
Are you guys
Yeah, M
gonna
Night
Dope.
Shyamalan. Yeah, I'm definitely gonna see it because I'm a fan of M Night Shyamalan. Even it's like his movies are funny. They're either like masterpieces or like fucking
Complete
terrible.
dog
Like
shit.
he's the most hot and like you see something like Split, which is probably my favorite film by him. A lot of people would say maybe Unbreakable or The Sixth Sense or Signs. Like Split's my favorite by him, and I think that movie is like unbelievable. But then you watch something like The Last Airbender, and it's like, oh my god, what were you thinking? This is so bad, like so bad,
I
and
feel
it's
like
just
Oh
funny.
yeah,
with that movie,
that
like
money.
beyond.
He was doing that money dance with the last Airbender, bro. He was doing that shmoney dance. He probably got a fat check for doing that
So I
movie.
didn't watch the show, so I didn't like I wasn't offended by it as much as a lot of people were. So I asked like I think I asked like Ryan O'Toole. I was like, hey, so like what specifically I know filmmaking wise why the movie's bad, but what specifically makes it bad like compared to the animated show? And he's like, they pronounced all the names of the characters wrong.
Completely
And I
wrong.
was like, there's no way. How do they do that? Like they just read the like
There's
the
I remember
synopsis
being
on
a kid too and watching it and being like, why are they saying "ong" right now? Like, what is? I was like, did the person who made this movie ever even? It was like someone just handed you the script, Colin, and was like, "Go make the Last Airbender," and they're like, and you were probably like, "I've never seen any part of it," and they're like, "Who cares? Just go
make
do it. Just make
It's
it. We
awesome.
don't care.
People
People
watch
are
it.
gonna watch it."
I loved that show. I was watching like the first season. I think I had like managed to like back when like DVR was like the thing to do. I had managed to like record like pretty much all of the first season except for like I think the like finale of the last season is just like a two-parter, and I couldn't get the first part, so I ended up buying it on iTunes and finding the second one. But then I like couldn't find any of the rest of them like illegally or anything. Like I just couldn't find them online. And so I ended up buying like all three like box sets, and that show is so good. Like I feel like it's come up a lot recently because of Netflix and Nickelodeon's deal and it being back on there. But yeah, I never
Did you
even
check
saw
out the iCarly reboot?
I haven't yet.
I've watched all of them.
Is
It's
it
so bad. It's
I've
so
watched-
bad.
I like it, dude. I like it.
It's
Because, dude, if you
so
go back and watch
bad.
the old ones, then it's like I kind of like cheesy stuff like that sometimes. Like I used to love the CW Flash and like stuff like that.
The Flash used to be
It's
pretty good.
definitely, yeah, it's the first 3 seasons and like a little, I think the 4th season might even be like kind of good. I forgot what happened in the 4th season, but the first 3 seasons for sure, I was like, wow, this is actually really good. And then I
saw
went
some-
back and saw a clip from the newest season, and it was straight insulting.
the clip from last
Oh
night's
my
finale.
god, they did it dirty. I didn't even know it was still running. I thought they probably canceled all
There's
that.
I don't know any of the characters that are in like the video clip other than the Flash, but they all like are harnessing some form of like lightning power or whatever, and they basically make like lightsabers out of it and start fighting. And I was like, wait a minute, this is not what this show used to be about. What
Yeah.
happened?
So I tried watching like from the very beginning. Like maybe there was like 2 seasons out, and I just couldn't get into it. The CW shows just don't like all the CW shows. I pretty much don't like any of them. Like there's not
there's
one
so
I've
much-
watched. They're
there's so
so
much-
bad. Like
Yeah.
yeah, I prefer like my comic book shows being like Daredevil. Like I like Daredevil and Jessica Jones. I really like Jessica Jones season 1. I don't think I watched season 2. I really enjoyed season 1, and then I watched the first 2 of Daredevil. But I think when season 2 of Jessica Jones came out and season 3 of Daredevil came out, they had both like canceled those shows. So I just like was like, what's the point? Like I didn't like care to watch it, but I really like the shows that I watched, and like I like kind of just a more like serious take. That's just like how my taste is. But as far as the iCarly show goes, it was just like it didn't make it. It was more mature, but it didn't make sense that they weren't more mature than they actually are. Like I don't. I was confused at like what the target audience would really be, because I guess it's like fans that have like nostalgia for the show watching it, but they don't fully commit to some adult ideas. And yeah, it was just super cringe. It just like I was watching episode 1 and I was just like, they didn't kind of explain enough of like catching us up of where things had gone. I don't know. I didn't really like it that much.
That's why I like it though, is because there's just like so much cheesy stuff. I don't know. There's certain stuff like that, like the iCarly show. For some reason, I'm like, this is terrible while I'm watching it. But then I finished last
See,
episode, and
I
I was
think it's
like,
good.
well, I'm ready for next week.
Dude, Gibby is hysterical in iCarly. It is like comedic gold. That part where they're doing that competition of like blowing those paint balls at each other, and he accidentally blows it or like at like something else. I can't remember what happened, but Sam like got mad at Gibby, and he knew he was just about to take the L. So he said, "How's my hair look, Sam?" And like some western music, like cowboy music, like a Clint Eastwood movie, just starts playing, and she's like, "Looks good, Gib," and just like sprays the paintball. And I was like crying. Like I was watching that like literally like probably like 4 months ago. I was like, that's hilarious. And then Spencer's great too, but I don't know. I don't know. It just felt awkward.
Yeah, there's a lot of. It's like, wow, they have sex now and stuff, and it's just like weird how they're kind of like push that part of it too hard. They probably could have kept it like cleaner. And
I feel like Colin makes a good point though. Like I saw that clip of her saying like jokingly saying like bitch or whatever, and then being like, that didn't sound right. Like I'm not gonna do that anymore. And I was like, I can kind of
just commit to it.
Yeah, but it is kind of like either decide like, do you want this to appeal to kids now, or do you want this to appeal to? And they almost want to do like that safe middle area. That
just commit to be a full on adult show to the like it don't. I would just full on make it like TV 14. You know, like kind of like you watch like technically kids could watch like New Girl or something, but there's lots of like sex and like adult themes that happen in that show, but just like have it be like that level of, you know, like that kind of vibe, you know what I mean? Yeah, they did play it safe, which is weird.
Yeah, I feel like I just don't. I think me or my boyfriend has Paramount Plus, but I just don't even like pay that much attention to it, which I hate because then why am I paying for it? But like, I don't know. I just feel like the iCarly reboot just didn't like pique my interest as much. But
I just got the free month and chugged it all. Huh?
Recently. You guys seem to be very split on your opinions recently. Natalie Portman, Black Widow, Quiet Place.
I know. I think we're breaking up over here.
Dude, no, that's not. No, I liked Quiet Place. Like, I wasn't like, holy shit, this is like the best movie I've seen in a really long time. There's a lot of movies that I liked a lot more than it. And then Black Widow, there's just so many problems with it, and I could literally go off for about an hour and a half on like why it kind of fucked things up. But I liked it.
On Sunday we record our episode. We're doing the Winter Soldier, Captain America, the Winter Soldier versus Black Widow, because they're kind of similar in the styles and the action, and the third act is kind of similar, I think, too.
The most like of any films in the MCU, like those two, I feel like are the most different than everything else, but also like similar to one another.
We could be dumb and like do like Wonder Woman versus Black Widow, but like that literally makes no sense. The only thing they have in common is that they're female like superhero movies, but the true comparison is Captain America and the Winter Soldier. So we're recording that, and that'll come out next.
You can't really. DC superhero movies are just so bad, dude. They're just so bad.
Wonder Woman's great. Wonder Woman's great.
The original Wonder Woman is good. And I like.
They're all together. Wonder Woman was good. I mean, the guy who's in all the Star Trek movies and in that what's his name?
Chris Pine.
Yeah, he was in that. I forgot what it was called, but him and his brother rob a bank, and he opens up like an oil mine or something.
Color Hard Water.
Yeah. That movie is wicked good. But altogether, the DC movies are just like, besides the Snyder Cut, which I would put into like its own thing, just because that was the first time they ever gave a director freedom to do what they want.
See, I wouldn't say all of them are bad because, okay, so out of the 10 that have come out, and let's say 11 because we'll say Joker, because since the DCEU started, Joker came out within that time period. I know it's not within the DCEU, but it's like DC property since that
Yeah.
time. Man of Steel, I think, is a borderline masterpiece. I love Man of Steel. I love how it's like a new take on like the origin story of Superman. Wonder Woman, I freaking love. Justice League, Zack Snyder's Justice League, I loved. Birds of Prey, I love. And then Batman v Superman, the first time I saw it, I hated it. But then I recently, like maybe a couple months ago, watched the extended edition, and that movie is amazing up until the point when the Martha scene, like up until the Martha scene, it's up until the Martha scene, it's really, really good. And then the Martha scene completely ruins everything. And then they have the CGI battle with what's that guy's name? Abomination, I think.
No.
Oh no, Doomsday. Doomsday. Yeah, that's his name. That part's bad. And then Wonder Woman 84, it has some parts, but it's not that great. Shazam, I think, is a little overrated. Aquaman's terrible. And then like Justice League and Suicide
yeah, I'm
Squad
mostly talking. I wouldn't consider like Birds of Prey and like Suicide Squad. I was mostly just talking about the connected universe, like all those movies. There's just
these are all connected. I think all the ones I mentioned, right? Birds of Prey and Suicide Squad are in the DCEU.
I'm super confused.
I'm pretty sure it's just. I guess yeah, because
they are. I mean, they are like Batman.
They threw in the You just I don't see like it's mainly just Harley Quinn that's in those movies, and then they brought in the one Joker in the Zack Snyder because there wasn't anything else. I mean, I guess in Suicide Squad, Ben Affleck's Batman shows up for a second to yeah, I guess I don't know. I still just like don't like it as much. I like Shazam. I thought Shazam was a good movie, but
yeah, I think they hit. I would say more than half of them I like, but like there's a lot of frustrations because I think the big thing is Justice League is so terrible. The first go around, and that's like imagine saying like Avengers is terrible. Like what would be our opinion on the MCU if like Phase 1, a lot of those movies, and actually a lot of them I like most of the Phase 1 movies, but some people don't like Thor. Some people don't like the first Captain America. Iron Man 2 is not very good. So they just fumble the ball so terribly, and like a lot of them are divisive. Like Man of Steel, like I love that movie, but some people say it's like it ruined their freaking childhood as far as they're concerned. You know what I mean? Like no, seriously,
I wouldn't say it ruined my childhood, but there are other Superman. I don't know. I liked animated stuff too, so there's a few like Superman animated stuff that I think is a better adaptation. But for real life stuff, I thought it was fine. I didn't think it was anything like special.
Well, like Birds of Prey, I was super confused by like the divisiveness of that movie. I expected it to be kind of bad, and I watched it, and I was like, oh wow, this is really good. Like nice hand-to-hand combat, like good stunt work, nice colors. It's funny, good acting. Like there's some things that weren't like great. Like the villain was a little underdeveloped, but like it was a solid movie, and people were like saying it was like boring. I was like, what? like there's boring. Yeah, I know. Like I can understand like certain criticism of that movie, but like boring is genuinely like I don't like to say like your opinion's wrong, but like I genuinely don't understand that take. Like saying it's boring. I thought that.
Yeah, honestly, I had the opportunity to watch that movie and I didn't because I thought it was going to be terrible.
It's actually good.
And I've only heard good things after I made that decision too. So I'll probably, if I ever get the chance again, I'll probably watch it.
I feel like with DC movies like that, because like Birds of Prey was one, I wasn't necessarily excited because it was like a DC movie, and I was like, okay, how many more times we're just gonna put Harley Quinn and Margot Robbie in a movie to like try to sell tickets? Because that's pretty obviously their end game with a lot of stuff. And I was like, it was really good, and I agree totally, Colin. Like I liked the hand-to-hand combat. I liked the introduction and like the pieces of the puzzle of all the different characters. I think Ewan McGregor's like character I could like care less about. Like I just don't really give a crap. But the thing that bothers me is when they get to that like fun house at the end of the movie. And wait, Rex, you haven't seen it, right?
Yeah, I don't care about spoilers though.
Okay. There's basically just this one line or a couple lines that they exchange that are such like BS. Like no one would talk like that, especially not in that situation. And it just felt like someone, even if that was in the script, should have just been like, we're not putting that line in. Like there's this one, they're like, you know what you have to do. Like who says that in a movie? Like when you're about to go up against the bad guy. Like that's the only part of that movie that I didn't really like. I just think there's some cringy dialogue at the end when like the tension is the highest, that it's just like, okay, why now are we saying
I think the new Suicide Squad will probably completely save them. It looks so good. Um,
James Gunn's directing it too.
yeah,
He did the
yeah. So it's gonna
Guardians of
be
the Galaxy.
crazy. Um, I like the fact that they're just fighting a giant starfish too. I think taking like silly villains and like kind of silly characters is like a good adaptation for it. I honestly just looked at the comments and someone said James Gunn says comic books are getting boring. I think that kind of like depends on like where you're coming from. I mean, they kind of rip a lot from comic books, like not whole entire stories and make like the true adaptations, but I feel that they have a lot of context to like connect to that. So I don't read comic books often. I usually just watch the YouTube videos of someone reading for it because I don't want to pay money to like. So
comics are just hard to keep up with too, because like if you find like one version of a comic, either one, it's ridiculously expensive, or for like, and why? Like there's no reason for it to be that expensive, or that you like find it super cheap at like, I don't know, like Ollie's or something, like some bargain store or whatever, and then you can't find like the comics that come before or after it, so you just get like 12 through 18 or something, and you're like, what am I supposed to do with this information?
Yeah. And there's so many resets too in like the DC universe. There's a new 52, so like I have no idea where the connections come in and out. In the Marvel universe, there's like a multiverse, so there's like Earth 1 and 2 and stuff like that. So it is like kind of confusing, and I would definitely just use the internet to find all of them. I wouldn't go and pay for comic books and read them from the comic book now, because they end and you don't know what's going to happen. And if you can't find the other comic book, then you're kind of stuck, buddy. So
yeah.
when he first said this, because I read this quote earlier before Basic Entertainment asked this question, I saw that and I thought he was talking about comic book movies. I actually kind of didn't register with me. So I was like, oh, that's interesting, because I don't like, if it was the question was comic book movies, and I was like, I don't know if we really have an answer on that yet, because 2020 not very many comic book movies came out, and like 2019 we had like a good amount, and that were, I mean, Avengers Endgame was like the biggest like experiment in maybe movie history. What if we bring all these characters together, have a bunch of movies across 10 years, and then have this epic finale? And then like we had something like Joker, which is like this character study with like a villain. So I was like, I don't really know if I agree with that, but it's a completely different question. I thought I was talking about comic book movies the whole time. I don't know. I have to reread the quote. I don't know exactly what he said, but
yeah, I don't know exactly what he was talking about either. I feel like, I don't know. I feel like there's a lot of boundaries being pushed with like the direction that both DC is taking to try to like keep up with Marvel, or just like have something like stick the landing and like work out. Like I totally agree. Like Joker was great, but then I feel like there's just stuff that they just don't really know where they're doing, and they're trying to reboot stuff. But I don't think so wait, okay, so this person is asking that James Gunn said that the movies were getting boring.
The comic books.
Yeah.
Okay.
I thought he was talking about movies, but then he just says nothing about movies, he says comic books. So I don't know what the actual quote was. I don't know if he means comic book movies, but either way, I don't read comic books.
Yeah.
I've read some like kind of the OGs.
I had a good collection when I was a kid. I had a couple Spider-Man comic books. I had one where it was like Spider-Man and Daredevil hanging out, and I think they fought I can't remember her name, but it was the person who's like Catwoman but not Catwoman. I forget her name.
Silver.
Yeah.
What's her name?
No. She's like an agent or something. She's got like white hair. Sometimes her and Spider-Man hook up.
Yeah. Oh, what's her name, bro? She was in the Spider-Man video game. There's
yeah, dude, where you get to choose whether you want to stay with
friend or foe.
Yeah,
bro, that game was fire.
It was fire, dude.
So you would defeat the villain, but then that villain became like your sidekick for the next like mission.
Okay.
Yeah.
and like they like because like they would fight him and then they would realize they would have like a common problem that they needed to solve. So like you would defeat Green Goblin or whatever, and then he would become like it was actually really good. I liked it a lot.
Yeah, it was really fun. A little reminiscence right there.
Yeah, I rented
Silver
it at
Sable.
Blockbuster.
Yeah.
I rented
Basic
it at
entertainment knows.
Blockbuster.
Basic Entertainment.
It's that old.
Yeah.
Um,
I miss
Yeah.
Blockbuster. I like not in the
Yeah.
sense of like would I ever really go rent a movie from them now? No, like there's a reason they're out of business, but like just like the atmosphere of Blockbuster, the fact that like kids are being born now and not knowing like that was ever a thing.
It's an Airbnb now.
there's still GameStop. I would get in there while you can.
The thing is with GameStop though, and maybe like I was just too young going into the Blockbuster that was by me. Like I just feel like it was like, oh, like it's like that meant it was like movie night. We're gonna go rent a movie. I could talk my dad into getting like popcorn and candy. But like GameStop, I always feel like the weirdest people are in GameStop. And I'm not trying to call anyone out, but like it's always dim lighting, and I feel like it's always just like I want to leave. I don't want to be here.
Yeah, like I feel like I've never had like good like service at GameStop. I feel like
I haven't been.
the
in
guys that
forever,
work there
so.
are like super like slimy dudes.
Well, I walk in
Just
there. I'm like
in
I
their
know more
mom's
than you.
basement, like like I don't know. Yeah.
They
I
try
don't
to
know. I
talk
don't
me
love
into like
GameStop.
these. Yeah, I've been in. I think I went in like a year ago because I worked at a mall and there was one, and I think I needed a new controller or something. I like walked in and he's like trying to talk me up, and I was like, I know more than you, bro. Let me just get this.
Leave me alone. Leave me alone. That's no, I just get so I don't know, it feels like this is just I don't want to say it. I'll tell you guys later. I don't want to say it on stream. I don't want to get heated any more than I have already for my Dune shit that's been going on this morning. But like I just GameStop is just the weirdest guys, and like especially going in there as a girl, I just know I stand out, and I'm like, listen, I'm just here to buy something. I just need to get in and get out. Like I don't need you talking to me or us having a conversation about whether this edition is better than this edition. Like I knew what I came to get. Just let me buy it. Let me leave, please.
Yeah. We had one that was like a local kind of place, and so I didn't really go to GameStop too much, which was cool. That I went. I don't play video games though anymore.
You guys remember that GameFly commercials that used to be on TV?
Yeah.
It was
That's
like
so
Netflix, but for gaming. Nah, everyone just downloads games now. It's just like Netflix. You just like pay for it. You don't have to leave your
You're right.
house. Starts
Like,
downloading instantly.
And stuff like that.
And even what's stupid about the disc is you make the effort to go buy a video game, and then it still has to download on your computer. So what's the point
so
of
you
even
just
having the
wasted
disc?
even more time.
Yeah, you just wasted more time where you could just you're gonna have to download to your computer
Back in the day,
regardless.
you didn't have to down. You maybe had to download like one small thing if the game had to like update or something.
Yeah, now you have to download stuff, which makes no sense if you
but now you pay for the game and it's like a fucking 100 gigabyte download, and you're like, well, shit. Now I'm waiting here for an hour and a half. When I could have just bought it on my computer and been gone already instead of going to the store, going out again. Yeah, it's a nightmare. I remember Blake Griffin being in those GameFly commercials.
I actually don't remember him being. That's funny.
Really? He had like the jetpack, and he'd like fly through the TV, and he'd have like a jetpack. It was hilarious.
Yeah, I don't remember that. That's funny.
That's hilarious. Like I just feel like it's funny to see stuff like crop back up that it's like similar ideas. Like just the whole iCarly reboot and stuff. That's what reminds me of.
I would have loved to see the Hilary Duff reboot, but then not Hilary Duff.
Lizzie McGuire.
Yeah, Lizzie McGuire. Like that, I was interested in that. And the reason why like it stopped is because like Disney wanted to be more PG, and they wanted to get a little more adult themes, which is like the obvious like where it should be. I feel like that would have been cool, but
I really feel like with all the reboots, like the only thing that's kind of worked, and like I guess I'm a little biased towards it, is like the High School Musical show, because it's like there's new characters, so like it's not the older characters that have grown up, and so like it still appeals to like younger kids just as like that's the kind of show it is, but it has the nostalgia for people who like are like, oh, they're making references to like high school.
Yeah, I watched the first season, and I think I was a little like confused on who the target audience was supposed to be, and I feel like that show like broke. Like I liked the first season overall. I tried watching season 2, and for reasons I won't explain on here, and I'll tell you guys later, I just couldn't get through it.
Yeah.
Because I don't want to get into all that, but I was like, I'm done. Like I can't get through it. But they season 1, it felt like that show like broke its own rules a lot because the whole premise is the fact that this is real world, like we're not in a musical, like we're aware that High School Musical exists, that is a musical, and that now we're doing a play of High School Musical at the school where High School Musical is filmed. But then like they don't, and then it's all kind of realistic the whole time, and it's got its teen problems and drama, and it's like whatever. And then like I want to say like 6 episodes in, they start busting out into song and dance as if the show in and of itself is a musical. I'm like, whoa, wait.
Yeah.
That doesn't make any sense because you just realized that you just admitted that musicals exist and that like that's its own separate thing, and we're like grounded, like have this Office kind of like rip off where we have our interviews and stuff. It literally like that is like one of the biggest sins that show made. I was like,
Wait,
that made
are we talking about the
zero
High School
sense.
Musical show?
Yeah.
I know. It's not. Wait, is that what Olivia Rodrigo is in?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Ah,
So it's
okay.
like they're fake kids who go to like the real high school where they filmed High School Musical. So this is as if like they're like they think Troy and Gabriella are still like characters. So it's not like they interact. Totally see what Colin means, because one of my like chief criticism of the show, which I don't think I've ever actually talked about here, even though I like make videos about the show, is that I thought it was really smart for them to be like, okay, Gen Z loves The Office. Let's make a mockumentary type show. I was like, that works, right? But the fact that like the camera would follow these kids who are like, I think in the first season, like 15 or 16-year-olds, like as they like go on dates or like as they're talking about their parents, like having like personal problems or whatever, like that didn't make sense. And there's a lot of like non-diegetic music. And then of course the like breaking out into song.
That doesn't make it. I still can't wrap my mind around that because I don't mean to sound repetitive, but you're aware that musicals exist and like that the show exists. So then you're like, oh, look at that silly musical. Let's do our own on a play. And then you yourself, so they like broke some sort of wall. It wasn't the fourth wall, but it was something. They like
too meta for its own good.
Yeah, it was really weird. I didn't get. I like the fact at the end that they had the kids actually like make out, because like in every Disney movie, it's like maybe they'll kiss, maybe. And I was like, okay, all right, we're going. We got a little tongue in there. Like I'm not like I was just like I like how they like committed to it. You know what I'm saying? Like I was okay. Like it's not it's very much like a PG show, but I liked how it like kind of went for it. And then. And that, I mean, that's probably all we'll get, which is fine. Like, I'm not like, it's a High School Musical show, but and then season 2, literally like the opening line of that show, I was like, yeah, I'm not watching season 2. And then like a month later, I tried watching I was like, okay, I'm not gonna be like annoying. Let me just watch it. And then something else happened that triggered me, and I was like, I'm not watching it.
No, I'll be honest, it's way more. There's a lot more like busting into like musical numbers in season 2. Like I would say there's probably one an episode, which like I've just at this point, like I've just accepted, because like have you guys ever heard of or watched Jane the Virgin? It was a CW show. I think it went on.
But I know like many people who've seen that show.
It has this like these elements of like, because it's all about like telenovelas, even though like it's a telenovela, so it's kind of meta in the same sense of like her dad is like a telenovela star, and so like all the tropes like happen within the show, and then they even have like imagined sequences, like dream sequences. So because I liked that show, I think I've just accepted it in High School Musical, the series. But like I totally agree with you that it's like it would even be better if it was just that with the normal Disney Channel style of show, but because it's a mockumentary and then you break out into song and dance, it doesn't mesh together.
It's not that it even doesn't mesh well. It just literally plain doesn't make any sense. Because you literally set up a reality that exists in there, and they break it. It was just really odd to me. Once that happened, I was like,
Colin's like, y'all are done for this. Y'all are done for this.
Yeah, it did. Like, I really want to talk to like the person in charge of like that show, like the showrunner, and be like, not like in a rude way, just being generally like that doesn't make any sense. Yeah, I want to know what like your justification of this.
No, that's honestly. That's a really good point. Okay, well, there's questions in the chat now, so we can go off of those.
Okay.
This one is, we'll just do quick. Best movies of 2021 so far. I think mine would be Black Widow.
Mine would be Black Widow would be number 2, I think.
Mhm.
Here I have a list over here somewhere. A Quiet Place Part 2 is definitely number 1. Black Widow, Luca, Cherry, and then Zack Snyder's Justice League. That's my top 5.
Rex, do you have any?
I gotta look
I
right
know
now,
I know his actually. His is North Hollywood.
bro. That's the best movie to come out so far,
Okay,
easily.
so that tell her how you watched that movie, because like that's, and I did the same thing because Rex, like, I think it was before we even started the podcast together. I watched it. Um, like
Um,
you have to like
so
rent.
basically, the website was confusing as hell. It's owned by like the production company is like a small skate company from LA. And like you get on the website and you're like, how the fuck do I watch this movie? Because there's like a shop and stuff. And you're basically like trying to figure it out. And then you finally figure it out. You can only watch it at a certain time and you can only pause for like 30 seconds. And then it's like a live stream. So you can like see everyone who's watching the movie like comment. And it was really funny.
I
Like
had that blocked off. I didn't
it
see
was
people commenting while I was watching the movie.
yeah, I turned it off when I started watching it, but I got in like 5 minutes before. And I was just like commenting stupid stuff. I was like, I'm literally skateboarding with Tony Hawk right now and watching this movie and like stuff like that. And people just be like, who else is high as hell right now? It's just like funny. And there's no like trailers or anything. So like before they just had like a bunch of like custom skate videos going. So it was like a really cool
Yeah.
experience. I honestly wouldn't mind if movies went that way because I would love, because you can't talk in a movie theater, but I'd love to see what everyone's thinking while like the movie is happening. But I also do love going to an
It
actual
was a
theater.
huge, like, it was very big indie movie, but it had a couple stars. Actually, Miranda Cosgrove was the love interest, and then Vince Vaughn was the dad in it. And I think I paid like $19, and like, yeah, you had to watch it at a certain time. It was like you actually go into the theaters, but you stayed at your house, and
Virtual.
yeah, and I just connected my computer to my TV to watch it, and I could only pause it for 45 seconds. And I mean, I didn't love it near as much as Rex. I understood why he connected to it because he skates and he lives in California, and like he was able to relate to a lot of stuff. I thought it was like a 3.5 out of 5 stars. It was like pretty good. But there's, yeah, definitely really one of the most interesting ways I've seen like a movie, and it was cool to support like a really small studio like that.
That's fascinating that they did it that way. Because I've heard about that movie, but I haven't, like, I didn't know.
I think it was on HBO Max or something for a little bit. But yeah, that was the movie that's come out this year that I was just like, holy shit, I love that. But pretty much everything else I've watched, I've kind of been like, oh, this is just like a big movie that like is entertaining, but like doesn't catch me in any way, being like,
Yeah,
oh
like
man,
I've
this
been
is
like,
crazy.
it's funny when I felt like I used to be the guy that like didn't like anything, and like I like the people around me liked that movie, but I didn't. Where like, so it's been kind of funny. Like I loved Luca, I loved A Quiet Place Part 2, and I love Black Widow. And Rex, like, not to say he didn't like it, but it was a little bit more like, yeah, it was all right.
Yeah.
About all three of those, was just kind of funny that like usually I'm the positive one, which is like, is just kind of hilarious.
Well,
Because
it's
usually
just like
I'm the one.
it's just like it's like those are movies that like I'm probably never gonna like really like once this year goes by in like 2 years, like I'll probably never be like, oh dude, you gotta like, have you ever seen Quiet Place 2? And like 2 years from now I'm never gonna be like, oh, have you seen this movie? But then there's movies like The Social Network, stuff like that you watch. Like North Hollywood will probably be one of them for a while, where you're kind of just like years go by and you're still like, oh, you got to watch this movie. Like this movie is crazy. Like if anything like comes up that makes you think about that movie, you're like, oh, you got to watch this movie. But like King Kong versus Godzilla, Mortal Kombat, a bunch of like these movies that are coming out, Black Widow. I'm not gonna be like, hey, like 3 years from now, I'm gonna be like, oh, bro, you gotta watch Black Widow, man. Like Black Widow is the craziest movie I ever saw. So that's what I kind of think about too, is like how long you're gonna remember it for too, and like how strongly, and it's all personal preference too. I had another friend who watched North Hollywood, and he was like, holy shit, that was the best movie I've ever seen. And he doesn't even like movies; he just skates.
Yeah,
So.
like I get it. Like, so
Yeah. Okay. Is there a subgenre of movies that you wish would make a comeback? And 1-2-3 Rock Fans example is like sports movies.
yeah, that's a good one.
I think for me,
Space Jam is the movie of the century, dude. Sports movie. Space Jam just came out. And there's the best sports movie ever.
That's not like a true sports movie though. Like,
Yeah, no, I know. Also, the new one I heard was just god awful.
I keep hearing different things, and I like Josh Simpson. I feel like he is always like he keeps his entertainment thing with his like critical lens like pretty even when he talks about stuff. And I feel like with Space Jam 2, he said like it was funny, but like he didn't expect anything of it, so he ended up liking it. But like I don't know where all this discourse came of like was there really people who thought that Space Jam New Legacy was gonna be like a good movie, like critically?
no,
Or is that
I
just
don't
a
think.
joke? Because
I
like
heard they just like totally ruined it with having like way too many call outs, like the Iron Giant, like people saw Among Us in there somewhere. Like
Game of Thrones and The Matrix, but this is a kids movie. None of those kids have
Yeah.
seen that.
yeah, it's just
They're
like
referencing like Casablanca and shit. Like
Yeah.
no kid has seen Casablanca, bro.
no
Like,
Yeah.
5-year-old can get that.
Yeah, and there's like one really cocky part where Don Cheadle is that his name? John, who's the
Cheadle?
villain in? Yeah, John Cheadle is like talking about LeBron James. He's like superstar, all-star, rapper, like saying like all these super good parts, and people are like, LeBron, you thought you were sneaky throwing that in there? Like talking yourself up like that? Like, come on, man.
Yeah, I feel like I only saw the original Space Jam like probably like 2 weeks ago, and it was one of those where I was like, "Oh, this is cool," and like I get it because like they made it to sell Air Jordans, and like that was pretty much it. But like then with making the new one, I feel like the only thing I guess I kind of get with throwing the references in is like there's a couple of jokes in the original. Like there's a one point where Daffy Duck like his butt turns into like a Warner Brothers symbol. So like, and then he like kisses it like he's kissing his own ass, like Warner Brothers is like sucking up to themselves or whatever. And so like that kind of stuff, I'm like, okay, well, they're throwing in references, but I haven't seen it yet, and I really don't care to. So like, I just am taking.
yeah, I don't care. I'm probably not gonna see it.
Space
but
Jam
first,
2
like,
wasn't as bad as the live action Tom and Jerry.
I was gonna
forgot
say, as far as answering the question of subgenres of movies, ones that I kind of miss are like fun, like I guess there are making them, but they just suck. It's like family movies. Like I feel like there was like an elite group of like family films that came out in the early 2000s, like Cheaper by the Dozen 1 and 2, The Pacifier, Freaky Friday, like just like all these like straight bangers, like not like particularly like good movies, but they're just like fun, and there's no like political message, there's no like any it's just fun. It's just literally made for the whole family. I feel like now family like Scoob is a crime against humanity. Whoever likes the movie Scoob is, I feel like kids movies now, like family films, like and this like animated, are like targeted towards like pop culture references and pop songs and confetti and everything's all in your face because the Lego movie exists and that movie was actually good. So they're like, oh my god, let's have this ADHD style of kid filmmaking and let's make everything crazy and fun. That's a kind of a different topic for a different discussion because that's more like animation, but like family films, I like if I were to make a movie, I would love to, like, I'm not maybe my first choice to make a film, but I would love to make just like a fun family film that's just like sweet. Like where is The Pacifier 2? Like where is it? I'm still waiting on it. Vin Diesel taking care of these kids, like I'm telling you, like it's a good movie. Like it's a great movie.
It is, yeah.
The Pacifier is a great movie. Like people, like too many film snobs will be like, oh, like the cinema, the writing is cheesy. Oh, who fucking cares? It's bringing Vin Diesel raising kids. This is awesome. It's hilarious.
Yeah,
and
my favorite part is when he has to go through like the basement maze.
Yeah,
and he has to do the little dance.
1 step forward, 3 steps back. Hop like a roll, get on your back or something. I don't even know.
Yeah,
but it's good. Yeah.
I love, like, I totally agree. I think my category, but it kind of falls into that one, kind of not. Like, mine would be more of like rom-coms because I feel like they just went through a period where they made like so many rom-coms that like some were good and some were bad, and you could just like pick through some of them. But like movies like Friends with Benefits and like The Proposal are like
great movies.
Love. Great. Like if I had to tell people to watch 3 rom-coms, like those would be the 3. But like I don't feel like, and I think it's because they don't make that much money anymore. But then
now they're making
them over, and it's just
what?
annoying. You're boring.
I feel like now though they're making them and all of them have to be like meta and like know
Yeah.
it's a rom com, so they always reference like other popular rom coms within that movie. A film that I really liked was the one the all the boys to all the boy or
Yeah.
something to all the boy. The
The
first
12
one was really the first one was really good, and the next two were terrible, absolutely terrible. I can't believe they made a trilogy of those movies. I guess because of the books, but
book. Yeah.
the first one's cute, right, and it like worked. But then the second one, they in the third kind of just fall in this like it just I don't know. It's just like the lack like the charm of like I think that's there. Even Friends with Benefits is a little meta kind of towards like other rom coms. Like oh
Yeah.
like look at this movie that we're watching and like they have some fun stuff. But I think it was just like told in like an organic way that I can't like really pinpoint the issues that of rom coms nowadays. But like I think a lot of it kind of happens in all sorts of genres, but some of them always have to have, and it's not even just political message. It's just always have to have like some sort of like deep meaning to it, and it's
Yeah.
just a rom com. Like it's just let's just have fun. Let's get some likable leads, write like a decent enough script. Let's have good chemistry. Throw in a couple music bits, and let's like have a good time. But like it's not they get a little like they make it more than what it is. I think.
It becomes too serious. Like there was one, and I know exactly what you're talking about because it was called like "Isn't It Romantic?" and like the whole plot is that the girl from Pitch Perfect, Fat Amy's character, I don't know what her Rebel Wilson.
I can't stand her.
She's like the main character in this movie, and her whole thing is like, oh, it's basically set up to be one of those like love was right under your nose the whole time, like the guy was right there, but like it goes in the whole movie is based on if like she gets switched into a rom-com universe and
Oh
like
God.
singing, and it's just like that nobody like as a like when I sit down to watch a chick flick, okay, and I've been known to do it, like I want to watch something that's just like a good time, has some funny humor in it, like funny characters, and like there's romance. But I don't like all this meta crap because I think they thought it's kind of like you said, Colin, like they see something like the Lego movie succeed and then they just copy it. So like with rom-coms, I don't even know what like maybe Friends with Benefits would be an example of like,
Yeah.
oh, meta, like people like it, but then it ends up just being too much that it doesn't work.
Yeah, and
like-
Rebel Wilson's a really strange choice to have as a main character. She's like very suited for like this funny side character role. So I don't see how that works. But also like I think whodunit like murder mysteries are cool. Like Knives Out came out in 2019. That's great. A film that I love is The Hateful Eight. Like no movie, I can't name one movie like that has come out recently besides Knives Out like The Hateful Eight. Like there's they don't exist. It's like who poisoned the coffee? Like it's just like it's fun. Like I said, I think Hollywood just takes itself way too seriously with these movies. Like just have like let's just have some fun. Let's make like who done it murder mysteries. Like there's a lot that can be done with it.
Yeah, like I don't want to say any of those are like stupid, but like kind of like Pacifier. Like not everything's got to have like crazy stakes. Like you can just write like a fun story and like have it work. You know?
Yeah.
The, like fancy
and you can make theoretically you can make something that's like better than the Pacifier that maybe is a little bit in certain instances taking itself a little bit more seriously, just a smidge, but not too seriously. Where like you don't like Pacifier is not like a great movie or anything. Like the wrestling scene's fun, but it's like a little bit like kind of cheesy. Like you can make it more modern, but it not make it so slapstick. But like a movie I can't remember the name of it, so I won't even say it. But there was a family movie I kind of saw recently that was like newer-ish. I thought, oh, this is pretty. Oh, Instant Family. That's a family movie that is great. Have you seen it? Did you see it, Sasha?
I haven't watched it. No.
Oh my God, you would love it.
Along with the excitement, but I like the concept. Like it works, and I think that's actually based on like sort of a true story of like
the director.
Three.
They adopted a kid and ended up having three, and it's just like a fun like family movie, and it's got some emotion. It's got heart. It had actually really no business to be as good as it was. Actually, like I was like the guy that directed like the Daddy's Home movies or whatever. I was like, this is really good. Like it was really good. Like it actually like scored well. Like it's got good like score on Rotten Tomatoes and stuff. So sorry, I'm like taking forever on this question.
No,
but
you're good. Okay, and I don't know if you guys are physical media guys because we talked about this a little bit. Do you guys have any care in the world for like the Criterions or getting Blu-rays or 4K movies? And do you have any like suggestions of anything you know that's a Criterion because there's a sale going on.
I don't buy Blu-rays much anymore. I do have a bunch. I don't have any Criterion. But like I know one that's a Criterion that I would love to have is Dazed and Confused. That's like one of my favorite movies of all time. It's a cult classic.
I think my girlfriend just bought a copy of The Outsiders on DVD I think it might have been on VHS. And she was like, "This is my favorite movie ever," and I was like, "Well, you're not gonna be able to watch it, so have fun with that."
I'm glad you bought that now.
Yeah, she just has it as like decoration, but I
Yeah.
feel like sentimental stuff. I'd love to have like a copy of The Goonies on VHS.
Yeah.
I never watched
The best thing I own is I have the original Star Wars trilogy in its original form without the added special effects that George Lucas. Yeah, so like the Disney Plus, I don't have any like what you see on Disney Plus isn't what came out in theaters.
Right.
Like that's all. Like especially A New Hope and the Return of the Jedi is just so much added bullshit. Empire is not really affected as much because it's literally a masterpiece. But the first, I have all three of them, and they make them significantly, but especially A New Hope. Like you watch A New Hope, and you're like, it's unwatchable on Disney Plus, like absolutely unwatchable. And then you watch it on like the one I have, and it's completely like not tinkered with, and it's amazing. That's probably the best Blu-ray I have.
So I've gotten really into like Blu-rays, like to the point where it's kind of a problem. But the thing is, and I don't know how people do this, like I only get mine from like Goodwill. So like I just go to Goodwill like a couple times a week just like for something to do and like look through them because they're only like $2 there. But like I don't think I could ever spend like $25 on one again unless it was like something like you're saying, Rex, where it's like a almost like a collectible or like a
sentimental.
Yeah, exactly. And like with the Criterion sale, I got this one is kind of dumb, but I really like the cover of it is Marriage Story. Like I know it's always going to be on Netflix, but I love that movie. And then my boyfriend wanted to buy Parasite because that one has a really cool cover too. And I was like, I didn't like Parasite the first time through, but I was like, I know I'm going to watch it again. If we're getting Parasite, like I have to get another Criterion I like. Like I'm not having Parasite be my first Criterion or whatever. So
did you see that Uncut Gems is getting a Criterion release?
Mm-hmm.
I was excited about that. That's like one of my favorite movies.
I love I think what's just so cool about them is I get like the art aspect. Like I didn't get it, and then I went to Barnes and Noble, and with them only being $20 now, it's more like it's kind of like you're saying, Rex. It's more like a sentimental collectible art thing, but you can also watch it, so it like justifies at least $20. Like I would never pay one full price, but the Princess Bride one is really beautiful. Like the cover for that one.
That's one I need to check out. I'm a big fan of When Harry Met Sally, and Rob Reiner directed Princess Bride, and I haven't seen it.
Great. It's great, Colin.
You've never seen The Princess Bride?
No, it's like
I watched that with my girlfriend like at the start of the pandemic, and it's like one of my favorite movies ever. The grandfather.
Isn't it like a comedy? Isn't it a comedy?
Yeah, it's like kind of jokey. But there are like some serious aspects to it. That's what like the how it's told is that it's actually a book, and then it's a grandfather reading it to his grandson.
Oh, don't tell me anything.
Well, it's not a spoil. This is like the very beginning. This is just how the story told. It's just a grandfather reading a story to his son who's like pretending to be sick. And like at first he was like, "Oh no, there's kissing in this, like gross," and he's like, "It's not just a romance. It's an action. It's a thriller. It's a comedy. It's really good."
Like reference movie.
Well, that's funny that he like because I've brought this
inconceivable.
You scared the shit out of me, Rex. I was like had my eyes closed, kind of, and you just hear like a screeching sound in my headphones. So I brought this movie up so many times on our podcast, but the movie Nocturnal Animals is like that, where Amy Adams gets a book from Jake Gyllenhaal's character that Jake Gyllenhaal wrote, and they're previously married. They're now divorced, and he finally finished his book, and she's reading it. And as she's reading it, we're seeing her read the story through movie form, and we're seeing the characters in it. And Jake Gyllenhaal plays one of the characters because like it was his book. And then like Michael Shannon is a character in it, and then Aaron Taylor Johnson, who plays Quicksilver in Age of Ultron, is a character within the book that she's. And it's like It is so good. Like that's like literally one of my favorite movies I've seen like the last few months. Like that movie's so good.
I have
And
to
those,
add it
yeah.
to the list. Colin, since meeting I texted you this morning, but since meeting you, my watch list from you alone has just like doubled. Like completely.
I'm just putting everyone on.
Eventually the shame's gonna get to me and stuff's gonna get watched, but for right now I'm just trying to like make it through some of them.
I don't want to call you out on this stream because there's some. I looked at your watch list on Letterboxd.
Call
Some
it
of
out,
there's
call it out.
there's
It's so
some gruesome. No, I don't want to do it because I don't want to embarrass you. But there was some gruesome movie. I was like, no way has she not seen that movie. Like some like I don't like. It was bad. It was bad, Sasha. It was
and
bad.
like the problem is like this year I started doing that letterbox challenge, like the 100 movies I missed thing, because I was like, okay, like there needs to be a point where there's some of these are unforgivable, right? And like I need to get rid of some of these. But then the problem is like I didn't have a lot of time during school, and then whenever I watched like movies with my mom, we watched like 2 or 3 rom-coms like in a row, and some of them are movies I've always wanted to watch, but I'm like they're not exactly like quality movies, you know? So it's like so many of them just stay
It's
off.
always easy to go through the ones that are kind of like easy watches and
Yeah.
and like comedies or something like that because like when you're watching like usually I watch my movies late at night. That's when I watch it, but you don't want to get invested in something super super serious
Yeah.
and like so what's considered like a great movie at that time because you want to devote like your full attention to it. Whereas like it might be easier just to throw on like kind of like a sillier movie or rewatch something that you feel comfortable to watch before bedtime, you know?
Yeah. Exactly. Okay. Favorite directors, and AJ leaves the challenge of not saying Chris Nolan, which I would not have said as my favorite director anyways.
How dare you? Just kidding, neither would I. He's up there.
He's great, but like I don't know. I just feel like so many people like he's like their messiah. Like, oh yes, Chris Nolan.
I mean, I've been in such a Tarantino mood lately because I feel like I've been talking about him so much. But the answer I always gave for like a straight like good year was David Fincher, who did like he did Seven and Fight Club and Gone Girl and Zodiac. What else has he done? The Game. He did. I said Fight. Oh, and then of course I missed my favorite movie of all time, The Social Network. So like The Social Network's my favorite movie of all time, and David Fincher directed it. So I'll give it to him. But Quentin Tarantino, Martin Scorsese, there's some other ones that
I'd
like.
probably say like Wes Anderson, Stanley Kubrick. Oh, Stanley Kubrick's a big one, and maybe Spike Lee. He's coming.
I cannot stand Spike Lee's movies. Yeah,
really,
bro, I love what
I cannot stand his. All he does is he jumps on a soapbox and preaches, and I can't like tell the story, bro. Like don't tell me how to feel about the story you're telling, but he does that all the time.
That's the point.
That's his style. He's a very talented. No, he's a very talented director, and that's his style, and he's 100% the right to choose to do that.
She's gotta have it. What's the one that I'm looking for? Not Chirac. Oh, what's it called? It was just on Netflix.
But
the Black Klansman, dude, alone is
Black Klansman. I actually like Black Klansman. I like Black Klansman.
The Five Bloods. I haven't seen it.
The Five Bloods. I wasn't a huge fan of. I didn't like it that much. That came out last year, I think.
God damn, what's it called?
Yeah, that was the Netflix one. Wasn't Chadwick Boseman in that movie? Or no?
Yeah, it was.
Yeah, the one.
It was great performances.
The Malcolm X movie too with Denzel Washington's really good.
I'm not saying he's not a talented director. It's just like there's certain movies like that. Like I don't like. Who's the guy? Tim Burton, right? Like I respect Tim Burton. I understand he's a talented director. His movies, I personally just don't connect to all that much. Like that's just all there is to it.
Oh, you don't connect to Beetlejuice at all?
No.
You don't connect to Nightmare on Elm Street? You don't connect to Batman?
Not that bad. I'm not a huge fan of those Batman movies, actually.
That was the Michael Keaton one, right?
Like Keaton
that he directed?
Batman.
Yeah. Michael Keaton was the Tim Burton ones, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I like those ones.
I think
I'm trying to find, bro, it's not even on here.
I think the two I would say, like, I really like all three of Damien Chazelle's movies. Like,
Yeah,
really great. La La
yeah.
Land's my favorite, and then I really liked First Man. Like, I know a lot of people didn't go see that movie, but I really liked it as like a character study of Neil Armstrong. But then I also really love Taika Waititi, but I don't know if it's him that I like or his movies. You know what I mean? Like, he's just such a character. But like, I really love Hunt for the Wilder People. That one is fantastic.
Yeah, I need to check that one. I haven't seen that one. I like Damien Chazelle a lot, and what's cool is how young he is.
Oh,
Yeah.
I'm so stupid. It was literally the first movie on the list. Do the Right Thing. That
Yeah,
movie is so good.
I was gonna say, is it Do the Right Thing? Like that's like one of his more popular ones.
That's like the most famous one for sure.
Do the Right Thing is definitely one of those movies you can't just like throw on at night though. Like you gotta like simmer on that one a bit.
I agree with you, Alex Lopez. I like A Clockwork Orange more than 2001: A Space Odyssey is boring as hell. It's just like got really cool colors. That's all. That's the only part I really liked about it. And the robot. The robot in it is cool and like menacing because it's like such like a classic AI thing to do, like, and it's like such a monotone vote. But
I think The Shining is obviously can't forget about The Shining. The Shining's great.
The Shining, I feel like The Shining is different for everyone though, because people will be like, "Bro, this fucking 3-hour movie is so long," and it's like, yeah, but it's really good 3-hour movie.
It didn't feel like 3 hours to me. I don't know if is it 3 hours.
I think it's like 2.5, maybe.
It's definitely longer, but I don't feel like it feels that way.
Do you know The Quiet Place Part 1 is like almost 4 hours long?
No way.
No, it's not. A Quiet Place Part 1 is not 4 hours long. It's like an hour and a half. Both movies are like an hour and a half. You're tripping, bro. You're so tripping.
Let me look it up. Nah, because I was literally drunk talking about it to someone.
Just wait, bro. Just wait. I can't even point the right way. Oh my god. Freaking the mirrored image. Just wait. He's going to be so wrong. It's going to be really embarrassing and hilarious.
Yeah, it is only an hour and a half. I'm not embarrassed. I was drunk talking to someone, and I was like, "There's no way that movie is 3 hours long." It was something like 3 hours. I was like, "There's no way."
The movie one, yeah. Oh wait, if you look up A Quiet Place, it does say 3 hours and 36 minutes. That's wrong though. That's not.
Oh,
right.
okay.
Like, if
See,
you
that's what she said. That's what she said, and she looked it up, and I was like, "There's no way that it's 3 hours and 30 minutes long."
That wouldn't make any sense. Yeah.
So I wasn't completely wrong.
You were right.
I was misleaded.
Yeah.
When we were talking about it, I was like, because we were talking about watching The Quiet Place Part 2, and I was like, yeah, it was good, but it was like whatever. I don't really care about it. And she was like, the first part was like 3 hours and 30 minutes long, and I was like, there's no way I was in the movie theater for that long when I saw that. There's no way. And then I looked it up, and I was like, shit, she's right. But now I was right.
Why does it? That's so strange to me. That happened to me one time. I was looking up. I think I was doing like a movie drafts on Jack's channel, and I totally skipped over a movie because I googled it really quick to be like, did that movie come out in 2010? And it said like 2011, and so then I like missed it. So Google, that's kind of frustrating. Not frustrating, but just like confusing.
Yeah, I was misguided, bro. What can I say?
Yeah,
don't trust everything.
I thought Jordan Belfort was dead. Was dead for years. For years, I thought he was dead because I just rode with that information for the rest of my life. Told every person I ever met for the rest of my life. At that point, like just have, hey, how's it going? I'm Colin. Jordan Belfort died. Like I told, like I spread so much information that freaking Mark Zuckerberg would be like shadow banning me right now on Facebook. Because I was just told that, yeah, he died, and I just believed it forever.
Tom Segura has a pretty funny bit.
Yeah. Where Tommy Lee Jones is gay.
Yeah, where he's like, gay. Tommy Lee Jones is gay, and then eventually, like, he got pretty popular, and he talks to him, and he's like, no, yeah, I know Tommy, he's not gay, and he's like, what? And then he talks to his dad, and he's like, you told me Tommy Lee Jones was gay. He's like, I thought he was,
and he's like, that's it.
Yeah, he's like, that's it. He's like, I've been going around and telling people this.
He's like, how do you know that Tommy Lee Jones is gay? He's like, My dad told me. And that's why my friend just told me that freaking Jordan Belfort died. I just rode with that information, and then I finally see him tweet. I finally see him tweet something. I'm like, what? He's not dead? Like, I couldn't believe it.
His account?
Yeah.
That's hilarious. Hold on 1 second.
So 1 second, guys. Stand by.
I have never seen Nick and Nora's Infinite Playlist.
Neither have I. Mitchell.
That's a what's his name? Superbad Mike Sarah movie, right?
Yeah.
What's
And then the girl, Mike and Nora's Infinite. Yeah. Or yeah, Nick and Nora. Michael Sarah, and then the girl
Got a
from
74%.
The girl that's Darcy in the MCU. She was in
Oh yeah,
or WandaVision. Yeah, Kat Dennings. She's in it too. I haven't seen it though.
So my piece of information, like misinformation that I've like accepted, was someone told me once, like a while back, that like Pitbull the rapper was like he had been like a coke addict, and he was like super just like on drugs like for the longest time, and then he like had a bunch of kids, and he was like a really horrible father, and then like one day he just like got his act together and just like fixed himself. None of that's true. And I was telling people Pitbull's whole life story that I had just like heard from someone, and it was false. I think it was my mom actually. How can you just tell me this information and like have me believe it? And that's when I realized I was like way too gullible of a person, because like it's like his Wikipedia page has been there the whole time for me to like look and be like, nope, this is very like, you can like confirm that this information is false. And I just
yeah, it's just funny how like I was like in high school at the time, and you don't fact check anything.
Yeah, you don't question.
I mean, even now, like if someone like if it's not like anything super like, yeah, if someone told me like, oh, the Eiffel Tower like is burning right now, I would be like, okay, like I would look it up, you know. Yeah. But if it's like something kind of like throwaway line, like I'll believe it. Like I don't like, if it's a friend, I'm just gonna believe what they say, unless it's like it's unbelievable to me.
Yeah, especially with something like Jordan Belfort. I mean, like seeing Wolf of Wall Street, it's almost like a miracle he's not dead with all the things, like all the drugs.
Yeah, I wasn't even shocked. I was like, yeah,
sure, why not? Like, whatever. So yeah, my apologies to Pitbull for lying about his life story. Okay, let me see. I'm trying to catch up on some of these comments. I'm not trying to skip anyone. I'm just trying to get to the questions. Have you guys watched No Strings Attached, which is, in my opinion, a worse version of Friends with Benefits?
Yeah, that's exactly what it is. It's literally that's the depth. When you look up No Strings Attached, it's the worst version of Friends with Benefits. It's literally just not. It's funny that Mila Kunis is in one, and then Ashton Kutcher is in another one, and then now they're married. But they came out the exact same year, and it has the exact same plot, but without nearly like the charm or the wit or anything like that. Yeah, that's exactly. It's not terrible or anything, but
I always get them mixed up. Friends with Benefits and No Strings Attached. It's
just weird that they came out the same year. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it was a rom-com era. One studio probably like heard that they were making a movie and just like ripped the script, and
it was like Ants and Bugs Life, but for rom-coms. They're like, yeah, okay, we'll do that. We'll just do that thing. Which this actually brings up, because you guys had the little like highlight, which I love that you guys are doing those now, because I think it like kind of cuts together all the like best like of one topic from your podcast. But you guys got into the debate about Natalie Portman, and she's in No Strings Attached. But
yeah, where do you fall on that debate actually?
Okay, so I fall way more on Colin's side of like not liking her, because I think her character in Star Wars is annoying. I don't think that's her. Then like I think she's a talented actress, so it's one of those things I just accept in my mind that she's talented, even though I don't really like the stuff she's in necessarily.
That's exactly how I feel. Yeah, I know she's talented. I just her roles I just haven't.
Well, yeah. Well, like, most people think like when you like they're like, oh, Thor and Star Wars, and it's like, nah, for Vendetta on the Professional, Black Swan. There's one.
Mila Kunis, right? She's in that movie too.
Yeah, yeah, she is.
Yeah, Closer.
That's really weird. like the
know.
connection
Oh, like,
between those two, the connection between Friends with Benefits and
Oh,
Strings Attached,
Brothers.
like
She's in the one with Tobey Maguire and Jake Gyllenhaal.
I don't think she's
where
a
they're
bad
brothers.
actress. I think she's just been hyped up to this absurd amount. And, like guys completely like.
Well, she's
simp
just
over
been
her,
she's been around for so long, dude. She's like a child actor. So like there's a lot of stuff that I haven't seen. She's in Heat from way back in the day.
Yeah,
There's
actually, I watched that for. Yeah, I just watched that for the first time the other day, Rex, and it was really good. I'll probably talk about it on the next episode for a little bit, but and she's like a kid in that, and she doesn't really like do anything that like she was fine. She was good in it. Yeah, that's all I have to say. There's like kind of spoilerish stuff with their character.
This is what I kind of wanted to ask, just going off of those podcasts, because you did the like pair of actors and actresses. Are there any people who like, because you were talking about your favorites, but are there any people that you like genuinely like you can't watch them in movies anymore? Because I have one person, and it's Anne Hathaway. I used to really.
Oh, she was on my list actually. It's my favorite.
And then like that's why I wanted to bring this up is because like she reminds me. There's like certain things she does that just remind me of this person in my own life that like there those like personality tics like bothered me of like the way she talks in sentences or the way she like looks at people in scenes. And so like I just find her like utterly unwatchable anymore. It's not that I don't like think she's good or anything. I just can't watch her. And is there anyone like that for you guys? Guy or girl actress or actor?
I can't really think like there's no one that I really like hate. Oh, maybe Ben Affleck. Yeah, probably Ben Affleck.
Yeah, that's a shitty ass take, bro. Ben Affleck is awesome, dude. I'm sick. Can I just say I'm so sick of the Ben Affleck slander. I'm so tired of it. He's awesome.
Bro,
he's so good.
He's whatever, dude.
Divides, but I kind of fall.
His Batman was really shitty, I think.
His Batman was crap. Was absolutely doesn't work, especially
uses guns, literally runs through a fucking
car. That's not his fault, though. That's not his fault.
I know.
That's not.
He played the character.
You don't want to blame Natalie Portman for the freaking terrible writing of Padme, but you can't.
I never said it was good. I never defended her part of it. I just said as a kid, like Padme was like super cool. Like I don't defend her Star Wars performance at all or Thor. It's just like it's there. I don't worship it at all. Like Padme was clearly better than Layla as a girl character in the Star Wars series. It's like nah, it was all right.
Yeah, I don't know. Ben Affleck, his directing has been great too. He did The Town and Argo, which are great movies. The Town is so good, dude.
I guess
if you haven't seen The Town.
Ben Affleck, I just feel like
I have seen The Town,
and he kind of is something like I have a like gripe with a couple actors. I like Ben Affleck's movies, whether he's directing them or he's in them, but I don't feel like he doesn't play that different of a character. It doesn't feel like the only one that I would say
they never should have given him an Oscar.
In the way
he wrote the script for Good Will Hunting. What do you mean?
He helped write Oscar. He helped
with
write
Matt Damon. They wrote it as kids.
Behind this.
Well, yeah, they went to Harvard together. I know the story. I know the story behind it. But after they gave him his Oscar, look who had a better career, in my opinion, was definitely Matt Damon, who is probably
maybe
more skilled.
a smidge better, but they both had great careers. I think Matt Damon's more squeaky clean because Ben Affleck's been more in controversy and whatnot. But it depends on how you define it because Ben Affleck's had a much better directing career because I don't think Matt Damon's directed anything. Whereas literally Ben Affleck, his movie won Best Picture. That's like one of the biggest honors you can have. You know what I mean?
Which movie?
Argo won Best Picture in 2012 or something like that.
Yeah. He's like, I like his movies. Like, I really liked The Accountant. I like him in Gone Girl, but I just don't feel like he's ever playing that different of a character. And the only like one I would point out that's sort of different is The Way Back, which is the one where he like goes and coaches the basketball team. But
that one's pretty good.
It's like his own life kind of vibe, where he's like kind of playing a character that's going through similar struggles as like what he went through with his whole divorce from Jennifer Gardner and stuff. And so I'm just like, I don't know. I'm not trying to say he's not talented. I'm just saying he seems to play a similar character most of the time.
Yeah, I don't. I liked Goodwill Hunting in The Town, but besides that, he just has a bunch of action roles. I mean, Argo.
What about Gone Girl? You haven't seen Gone Girl?
I seen Gone Girl.
No, I was talking to Rex.
Oh.
Yeah, I guess he hasn't seen it.
I'm
Gone Girl's
looking at
great.
it. No, I
It's one of
haven't
the
seen
best. It's one of the best Fincher movies for sure. Like that movie is a masterpiece, no doubt about it.
it. Is it about a true story?
No, it's based off a book.
Okay.
So.
Yeah, I love the whole like cool girl speech that she gives when she's like driving away when the plot twist happens, and like
Rosamund Pike's great in that movie.
Mm-hmm. She really
I'm
is.
trying to. I thought he was in a Jay and Silent Bob movie, but I guess not. I thought he had a small part, and I swear. Oh yeah, Jay and Silent Bob Strike Back. If you have you guys ever seen those movies?
Mm-mm.
No,
dude, you've never seen Clerks or what are their other ones? Do you guys know who Kevin Smith is?
I've heard the name, but I don't know.
He's like he just made. It's kind of why in like the early 2000s and stuff like that, we got like a bunch of like really cheesy comedies and stuff like that. He made Zach and Marie made a porno, which is like
I've seen that. I've seen that.
Yeah, that's like Seth Rogen's. So you know the guy in that movie who's like kind of like the scumbag who they hire as an actor to film the porno with, and he's that's all I can do. He's like a stoner guy who just like has a big dick in the movie. If you don't remember him, he plays Jay in like the other parts and Clerks and stuff, and Jay and Silent Bob Strike Back. They're funny movies. They're not like extremely good, but you don't know what a snowball is.
Crickets, bro. Crickets. Never heard of it.
They're good movies. I shouldn't even be here today.
Dude, you're talking like on another planet right now. I have no idea.
Like,
Never seen it.
I just zoned out, or Rex just like went.
He went on a soliloquy about great. Like these are like probably the greatest movies of all time.
No, they're not. That's the point. Is that they're not good. Like Clerks, I wouldn't say is a good movie. It's just about a guy who works at a gas station, and he's just, like wasn't like crazy stuff happens at work, and he wasn't even supposed to be working that day.
I feel like that always happens.
Yeah.
Okay, what is y'all's? Moving on to the next one. Alex mentions westerns. What do you think? Because I feel like there's always like some western elements in stuff that's being made nowadays, but like The Mandalorian. But like I don't know if I would want to watch like a true western movie nowadays. What?
I think the only one really doing it the last like decade was like Tarantino that like brought it back. I just can't even think of many that there's been. I mean, I like Western movies, so I'd like to see more of them for sure.
There's what was the one we were talking about? Oh, Hell or High Water. I feel like that one's kind of a Western, but it's more heist.
I feel like Country for Westerns Westerns nowadays usually just take up like the sheriff role. Like the sheriff is kind of the cowboy now.
Yeah.
Because he has this 6-shooter and wears a cowboy hat in Texas and rides horses. It's usually like somewhere in Texas or like Northern California, stuff like that.
Sasha, please tell me you've seen No Country for Old Men. Please. Oh my gosh. That's like one of the greatest movies ever. This movie's so good.
I think Colin, I'm just gonna send you next time I like need to watch a movie. I'll just be like, okay, Colin, what am I watching tonight? Because like
No Country for Old Men is like No Country for Old Men is probably like one of the greatest Western movies of all time. Like that's a Western for sure. But it's like a modern Western. It's not like it's not like Clint Eastwood or anything. It's like it is like what Rex said, like the sheriff's the cowboy. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And Javier Bardem as Anton Chigurh is one of the better villains I've seen.
Fantastic actor. I love him as the guy in Skyfall, the bad guy. I don't know what his name is technically.
Yeah. Well, the Coen brothers are like, they're great directors.
Mm-hmm.
Fargo, if you haven't.
I haven't seen Fargo.
Argo.
Arizona. It's with Nicolas Cage. They like steal a baby. Like
No,
No, I
they
haven't
steal a
seen that.
Declaration of Independence.
See, that's what I'm talking about. We don't make movies like that. National Treasure or Night at the Museum. Where are those movies?
Are so good, and the amount of like Mobius variants I've been seeing because of him in Night at the Museum. He's like the cowboy Jedediah, and someone made a I don't know if it was like a joke or they were actually being serious, but I guess like in the Pompeii exhibit in the Night at the Museum is where the cowboy, like that's where Owen Wilson's character is, and then they go to Pompeii and Loki, which I was like, oh, I don't know that was necessarily.
That was definitely a reference, but I see like that. Those movies don't exist anymore. Or just like fun family movies. Like National Treasure is so harmless.
I don't know. Paddington 2 is a straight banger, bro.
Yeah, I heard
If
those.
you haven't seen it, I guess it's about a bear, but Paddington 2 is A1. So is what's that the live action Winnie the Pooh movie? I like that one a lot. That was kind of like a family movie. Yeah, Robin. I like that one a lot. Mr. Poppins Penguins for some reason pops into my head.
That one actually is a banger too.
Yeah,
I'm going to see that in theaters.
Yeah, it's so good. That one's older though. I'd say that's closer to that sort of era when they were coming out with those movies. Yeah. I feel like Hollywood is just really on track of just like, hey, we're just gonna keep copying stuff that's already made because it's way easier and people are gonna watch it. So
yeah,
suck it up.
Just make another sequel to something as opposed to like coming up with, which is essentially the same thing. It's just an adaptation with slightly different story. But like, yeah, no, there used to be so many more. Like I think about like Zathura, or like
yes, great family movie.
Or like even like Daddy Daycare. I don't ever remember seeing it.
I don't know.
But, like, I remember it being maybe in that genre.
I love Daddy Daycare. When Eddie Murphy was doing like a bunch of family movies. So funny because I didn't even know, like as a kid, I saw Daddy Daycare and a couple other ones that he was in, and I was like, wow, this guy's hilarious. And then I got older and I found like his more adult stuff from the 90s, and I was like, wow, this guy really toned it down for like a whole decade and was just like, yeah, I'll just make family stuff with like Haunted Mansion.
I mean, his performance as Donkey deserved an Oscar. I mean, let's just be real.
Oh, hey,
yeah. Yeah.
Oscar.
Yeah. My name is Dolomite is like one of my favorite movies when it came out. That movie is really good if you haven't seen it.
The costume design of that movie looks amazing. I haven't seen it, but I loved like, I don't know. It was one of the ones that I feel like just kind of, at least from what I had been following of like award season, it kind of came out of nowhere and then was like, everyone was raving about it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it was wicked good. I definitely recommend watching it.
Okay, I'll add it to the list. We don't have to go into in-depth, but favorite thing about Black Widow. I really like the opening credit sequence.
Yeah, I'll think the credit sequence is my favorite, which that doesn't really like full on count, but I feel like because it's just like I mean, I guess it does because it's in the movie, but like I don't want to pick that, but because then it sounds like the movie wasn't good. Because if the best thing about your movie is the credits, and like that's like it doesn't sound like that's all good. I like the family stuff, but I think the third act action with like all the like bad guys with the guns just like going through the air and like the whole parachute. Yeah, I think that was a lot of fun. But the opening credits with the Nirvana song, oh my god, with the cover, the girl singing it. Dude, that was just so cool. Marvel's never done anything like that before, like that interesting of a credit sequence.
Probably I like probably the characters that they brought in. Jeff, what is that his name? Jeff something? The guy from Stranger Things, and then
David Harbour.
Yeah, the lady from Midsummer and Little Things. Don't
Florence
ask me
Pugh.
about actors' names. Yeah, but yeah, I'm really excited to see what they do. Those two people were pretty much all I kind of liked about that
Fair
movie.
enough. I love y'all's Tarantino episode, not only because it's longer, but the amount of times you guys like you rag on Rex for like messing up names or being like Josh and
Dude,
commenting.
I can't do it.
On your
Like,
ass, bro.
yeah, especially, bro, it's so bad when I go places and meet people because I'll like just like bomb on their names so
So
bad and like
I met Rex. I'm pretty sure he didn't know my name for the first like 2 days, and by the third day, he was like, "Yeah, okay."
bro,
Yeah.
I still have your contact name and my phone is still Colin from Florida.
No way! No
Yeah.
way!
I was literally looking at it when you texted me
Stop.
today. When you first texted
Stop.
me, I was like, I should probably change that since it's more of like I know he's like the
Oh
only
my
Colin
God.
I talk to.
So when we went to New Orleans, like I think I set my like Tinder for New Orleans before we went there. So like if I got like a girl's like number or Snapchat, whatever, I just said like their name and then Nola next to it. Like, and I
Mhm.
still have like this some like this one girl I've like still like kind of talked to. It still says like Nola next to it. And I just feel like kind of like a douchebag, but like that's just I'm just being honest. So
Yeah, it is. It's funny.
I love that. I love that.
Colin from Florida.
There's a couple of people I have friends with from college, and they were like, "Oh, text yourself this," and like handed me their phone, and I was like, "You know, my name's like spelled wrong in here, right?" And like I've known them for like 3 years at this point. I feel like it's just one of those things you just don't go and update like contact information.
Well, I
It's like,
wonder because what we did is when we went to New Orleans and I met Rex, we all had like a little family meeting and said like, okay, everyone, get everyone's numbers, like turn your location on if anybody gets lost. So I was like getting everybody's like, and I didn't know like, I'm like asking Chance, I'm like, what's Rex's last name? You know, like I don't, I just met him. So like I'm assuming when you put other people's numbers in, you probably said like Nathan from Florida and Cade from Florida and stuff. So
Pretty much.
yeah. Desiree from Florida. Shout out Desiree.
Yeah.
She was there when me and Rex became friends.
Yeah,
Love
shout
you,
out
Des.
shout out to Chance too. Chance since he wants a shout out every single time.
Yeah, he
So,
does. He technically
there you go,
deserves
man.
one for at least like the first like 30 episodes. After that he can fuck off. But
after that,
That's
you
funny.
guys are your own friends, but now it's still like gotta
yeah.
for sure.
We're yeah.
Go ahead, Rex.
I was just gonna say we're still testing the waters.
Yeah. I don't know if I like him yet.
If
Yeah.
that's how Hollywood just disappears off the face of the earth, guys, like it's because it didn't work out. They just
Yeah. We broke up.
Did you guys? I talked to Colin about this, but Rex, did you see the trailer for Dune?
The new one?
Yeah.
No, I'm gonna go see that movie when it comes out because I'm pretty sure there's like a certain set of movies where it's like French Dispatch, Dune, Jackass 4 all come out the same day, and I was like,
and last night in Soho.
yeah, so I'm buying like a movie ticket and then staying inside the movie theater all fucking day.
Dude, I'm not seeing Jackass. I'm not seeing Jackass 4, but the other three, I want to watch all those. Like, and I don't know which one I like. Like, dude, like maybe the Last Night in Soho. I love Edgar Wright. Like, but probably Dune because like Denis Villeneuve just hasn't missed. Like every movie I've seen of his has been so good. I mean, if you haven't seen Prisoners or Arrival, I'm not gonna say who hasn't seen it, but like if you haven't, it's great. It's like he just doesn't miss. He's like the more, I don't want to offend Christopher Nolan fans, but I think he's the more thought-provoking Christopher Nolan director. They have like big ambition with interesting ideas, and he takes it more the artsy direction, whereas Christopher Nolan brings it more like the blockbuster, more accessible for audiences. Like so, like Inception, Interstellar, and the Dark Knight trilogy are very, they like especially Inception and Interstellar can be confusing, but like general audience members all went on droves to see those movies. Whereas like Arrival and Blade Runner 2049, they're big in spectacle and ideas, but they go a little bit more like the artsy. Like they're very similar filmmakers, I think. Whereas like Christopher Nolan's just a little bit more like accessible, I think, and he's more artsy. Just saying.
Yeah.
Just saying.
Definitely.
Really good point. I definitely this today though, And I did like the trailer reaction this morning because I was like waiting for it. Although fuck Warner Brothers, because this morning they said they was gonna come out at 8:15 like in the morning. So I was up by like 7:45, 8 a.m. and they didn't come out till 9. And like that's not first of all. But then people online, and I don't know why this is the case. Because like I think even Denny Villeneuve, I can't say his last name.
Denis Villeneuve.
There you go. He I think he even made it like a comment about it being like an adult Star Wars type vibe.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
People have like been ripping other people to shreds on the internet. Like I've gotten so many comments on that video today about how like, oh, well, you clearly don't know anything. Like this came out before Star Wars, and I'm like, okay, but that doesn't mean it's not still like Star Wars. Like that even like emphasizes the point further. So I don't know. There's been so much gatekeeping surrounding the movie of like, you need to read the book or you need to see the 1980 movie. I'm like,
yeah. Well, like
see the movie. Like I don't want.
What's a more pop? Well, think about it. What's a more popular?
Dude, I think I saw this movie when I was a kid. I didn't even know it was a remake.
Yeah, it's a remake.
This cover looks so familiar, dude.
But like George Lucas took a lot of inspiration from 2001: A Space Odyssey and like Flash Gordon to kind of bring in like the more cartoony elements. Those came out before. What's bigger, Star Wars or Flash Gordon? Obviously, Star Wars. So so you're not going to say, oh, Star Wars is a lot like Dune. You're going to say like, or I think, yeah, like you're going to say Star Wars is or Dune's a lot like Star Wars. Or Star Wars is the bigger franchise.
The original, and like I don't know. I just feel like I just kind of want to be like, screw you to all the people who are just like what does it matter, bro? Like I could have gone in knowing nothing. Like I don't know.
Oh, dude, I love. I'm sorry, I love Brightburn. If you guys haven't seen Brightburn before, it's basically like an evil Superman.
It's an evil Superman movie. Basically.
Yeah, it was super good.
I'm just looking at. I know exactly what you're talking about, but I was just, ew. This is something I'll have to watch mid-afternoon, Rex. I cannot just throw this on.
Brightburn. It wasn't like scary. It was more of like. You're just like, holy hell, like, what if Superman was evil? We'd all be screwed.
Be like Homelander. But this is
it's more of like, it's Homelander is more of like kind of broken and like made in a laboratory kind of evil where he still has like this good face. The kid is kind of like a serial killer kid who like, you kind of notice that he killed a dog one time and kind of liked it too much or like enjoyed it while he did it, where you're like, this kid is going to be a problem in the future. So it's like one of those movies where it's like an early sign to like, oh, this kid is not a good person. Just like,
if you've seen the movie Looper, that movie's about like, it's super hard to murder people in the future, so they sent them to the past, and then people in the past are hired by gangsters in the future to just, if they get dropped and you shoot them, boom, real quick. And at the end of it, you have to close out your loop, and you basically have to shoot yourself without knowing it. Like you end up, and Joseph Gordon-Levitt's the younger version of Bruce Willis's character, and Bruce Willis's character is going after a kid in that film who is basically like evil Superman. He's like a superhero Nazi essentially, and he's like ruling the world in the future, and he's going to kill that kid, and like that's kind of like the plot of the movie. Actually, Emily Blunt's in it too. She's like the mom, but like that's like kind of reminded me too of like kind of like evil Superman.
I really like Emily Blunt, actually.
This is great.
She is great. Okay, I think this is the funniest question. Would you rather be punched or tickled for an hour?
I mean, obviously.
Probably tickled. I'm not. Yeah.
But it would be one punch, though.
Oh, okay. I thought you meant punched for an hour or tickled for an hour.
Yeah.
Oh, well, maybe,
okay, I'd rather.
Yeah, probably punch. Well, it depends on who's throwing the punch. If I'm getting punched in the face by Mike Tyson, I'd probably get tickled for an hour.
Yeah, it might be kind of fun. I haven't been tickled in a while. Like let's make a day out of it.
Oh,
stop! Hey, like no, I'm just kidding. That'd be funny.
Oh my god. Yeah, no, yeah, that's actually a good point. If it's someone I've never been punched, and I hope to never be, and I don't think I could take it. So like probably tickle for an hour, but like if it's one punch. But yeah, I don't know if that's what the question was asking. I just thought that was hilarious that someone would ask that. Are you guys into Funko Pops at all?
Yeah, I have a couple.
Have you
I
seen
have,
the,
I have a small collection.
I have one. I have a single Funko Pop.
what is it, Rex?
Uh,
I'm gonna show you my favorite one while he's grabbing that.
Okay. It's like show and tell.
it's the Joker from. This is one of the few comic books I've read from the death of the family. I don't know if you can see that.
Yeah.
Basically, he rips his own face off and puts it back on, and then captures the entire Batman family and rips their faces off and puts them on a plate. Yeah, it's like one of the Joker stories where like you don't really get to see how menacing the Joker is in comic books, but like yeah, there's like a scene where they're all at a dinner table and they all have like things over their faces, and they open up the plates and it's all their faces on the plates. It's really disgusting and menacing, and it was my girlfriend was in Hot Topic and I saw it and I was like, no way, it's a Hot Topic exclusive. And I wanted to throw it in my PC, but it's too big, so I couldn't. But yeah, this is the only Funko Pop I own.
So I have an honorable mention before I throw my favorite, but this is like my second favorite is Korg playing video games. Like I love, yeah, I guess a Taika Waititi fan. And then my absolute favorite one is one of my favorite coming of age movies, high school teen movies, is Fast Times at Ridgemont High. And you have Linda Barrett, who is there's a huge like iconic scene in like the history of cinema of her getting out of the pool and that really famous rock song's playing, and she's like, you know, just looking super hot, and it's just like it's just like a simp moment for like every dude who's like a cinephile. Is like the iconic, like look it up, like Fast Times at Ridgemont High pool scene. It's like one of the most famous scenes, like especially like the 80s. And I just got like one of her like in that swimsuit, which is funny. I even got Jeff Spicoli, who's a younger, like Sean Penn when he was young, and he's holding a pizza box. He's got this like checkerboard Vans. Like that's another one of my favorites too, because anybody can get like a comic book like movie one, or like I have a Baby Yoda, like everyone, or Grogu or whatever. But
yeah, they're coming out with from Endgame. They're coming out with a Lego set that's like Thor's room, where it's like Korg and what's the weird ant thing. They're playing video games and there's like a Fortnite and like a bunch of beards. Yeah, it's basically just like an Easter egg Lego set.
Yeah,
it's gonna be sick. I kind of want it.
That's hilarious. I just looked this up. That's so funny. I don't really know if I have like a Funko Pops. I've had to cut myself off because I'm like, it's too like I just go to Target a lot and I'm just like, oh, it's $8.
They're addicting. Yeah, they're addicting.
Why not? Yeah. I think I have the Wanda one where she's pregnant, and I just really like her dress in that episode. So that one's probably like one of my favorites. And then
I have Thor holding the taco from Endgame.
Alex Lopez has a bunch.
Not Thor,
I feel
Hulk,
like a taxi driver one would be cool. I'll just show them. Yeah. I don't have anywhere to put them, and I feel like once you have so many, it's just like, wow, now you're the guy with a wall full of Funko Pops, and it's like,
well, I actually would love a Baby.
But I'm the guy with like a fucking like tins full of Pokemon cards, but I hide them.
You're not ready to show the world yet, but Baby Driver, I would love to have that one with like the headphones, him like listening with some sunglasses and his outfit, like that'd be really cool. Have you seen Baby Driver?
Yes, I have seen
Okay, good.
I get way too excited when people bring up movies I have seen because I'm like, gotta like make them think like I actually do watch stuff. Okay, this one is not like my favorite, but it's Homelander with like the red eyes.
Oh, that's cool.
But I don't like, I like them, but I would never, and this is something I don't understand in this space of YouTube, just because it's not like obviously everyone's entitled to spend their money or do whatever they want with whatever they want, but like I don't really get like buying all the Funko Pops for like one show or something, or like getting a movie if I don't like it on Blu-ray.
Yeah, I pretty much just bought those when I had like before like I started the podcast and I was just doing regular reviews. I just pretty much bought it for decoration, and then I kind of bought more because I thought they were like pretty cool. But like it's not like I only do it if like I really want it, but I'm not gonna get like this insane like Funko Pop collection. Like I only have like 12. Like I have 12 Funko Pops.
I got one. I got the one. That's all I need.
Got the one. He's special.
I hope it's worth a lot of money one day. To all my grandkids are getting.
I just counted. I actually.
I got this Funko Pop from back in 2019.
yeah, pretty much.
That's hilarious. Okay, I don't know that there's any more questions. Is there anything we want to talk about? Because I know we're coming up on when we said we would cut off. So, is there anything
I'm
else you
trying to
guys want to
see.
talk about before? Someone brought up the Brightburn, but I haven't seen it, and Rex said he liked it. Colin, do you have any more
Yeah.
thoughts to add for Brightburn?
I never saw it. I just knew the premise.
It's the dad in it is Pam's first husband.
Oh, Roy.
Yeah, Roy. He's the dad in it, and then I forget who plays the mom, but it's pretty good. It's just about a menacing kid with superpowers.
Michaela Rose said, "Do Colin and Rex have Letterbox at all?" Yeah, we do.
Oh,
So
shoot.
follow us.
Yes. I need to put. I have all that That's So Hollywood stuff in the description, but here I'll pull up what you guys think are and put it in the chat.
Is this on YouTube?
Mhm.
Sweet.
What would you think it would be on?
Well, I didn't know if you were like recording it and putting it on somewhere yet, or I don't know, man.
Oh no, this is live. So if you
We're
said
live. Everyone, yeah, this is all.
Yeah.
Hold up.
I forget YouTube does lives too a lot. That's also why.
Okay, I'm gonna put yours in the chat just because I'm pulling it up. Wait, why did the thing go away? I think Rex is just. I think yours is just Rex Cuneo.
It's the Rex. It's the Rex offender.
Oh, okay.
I didn't know I'd put that down as my actual thing. I thought it was just.
You're gonna get canceled,
bro. I know. My girlfriend's mom came up with that because she was trying to find me and she thought that was me, and I was like, "No, that's not me," but I might steal that name.
That's hysterical. Okay, well, if any, oh wait, there's one more question. What is your favorite movie soundtrack?
Dazed and Confused, baby, or Baby Driver for sure. Those two. Forrest Gump's great. Forrest Gump's.
I don't know if this is Cohen. Maybe just like Pirate. This is the first one that comes to mind is Pirates of the Caribbean.
Well, Pirates of the Caribbean.
If I had more time to.
Well, that's a different though, because Pirates of the Caribbean is a score that was composed by a musician specific for that movie, and a soundtrack is songs that were picked that were already made. Like it's like soundtrack is like Baby Driver.
Yeah,
and
I know. I get what you're saying.
So like score would be like for me would be like I don't know like Star Wars or something, or like The Dark Knight, Inception.
I'm trying to think then. Maybe I remember Drive. Drive didn't have a score, right?
I don't remember. Like, I mean, I'm sure it does, but I just don't. Nothing really memorable to me that I remember.
I think mine would be Guardians of the Galaxy.
Yeah, that one's a good one.
It's a good one.
Good soundtrack. Yeah. Yeah, I think as far as scores go, the Social Network score is unbelievable. Trent Reznor and Atticus Ross was good.
The Miles Morales Spider-Man movie, Into the Spider-Verse.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that's a good soundtrack. Oh, someone said Boogie Nights. Boogie Nights has a great. Yes, Forrest Gump's also great. A lot of like Tarantino and Scorsese movies, they both use a lot of music. Like Tarantino, his first film, Reservoir Dogs, there's this really famous scene of a police officer getting his ear cut off, and it's playing "Stuck in the Middle with You," which is like a classic rock song. And it's just like the juxtaposition of a dude getting his ear cut off and being tortured, and like gasoline being thrown all over his body, to a really fun like poppy rock song. It's just kind of hilarious. Like only Tarantino could pull that off. And then like Goodfellas, like I one of like the most iconic like one take shots of all time is when him and Ray Liotta and his wife, can't remember her name, are going into this restaurant, and they go through the back way because they're like important people, and they're going through the kitchen, and you're seeing everything go all the way to when they sit down, and it's like a 2-minute shot. And I think there's a song in that part. So Yeah, a lot of their movies have a lot of great music in them.
Yeah.
So
No, I think there was one when I was watching Kill Bill this weekend, there was a song and I can't remember what it was now, but I think it's become like a TikTok sound or something, and I was like, holy crap, like that's not just something that was
Ha
manufactured for TikTok.
ha ha! Pump it louder, pump it loud. Isn't that's it, right?
no, what's that? Dun, 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 like that. Dun, dun, dun. What's that one song that plays in Kill Bill?
I'm not
Oh
even
my
sure
god.
what
No,
it is.
no. In the beginning of beginning of Kill Bill, right? It goes, ha. It's the Black Eyed Peas song where it's like, ha,
No, well
ha,
that song, there's no way
ha.
because that song by
Actually,
Black Eyed
people
Peas.
after Kill Bill would have done
Yeah, yeah,
No, yeah,
yeah.
they used the Black
songs.
Eyed Peas. The Black Eyed Peas used it, but it was a song. It was just
Oh,
a sample that they used to make the
Oh, okay.
song. It wasn't actually "Pump It Louder" by the Black Eyed Peas. It was the sample they used, where it's like, "Huh, huh, huh, pump it
Yeah.
louder." Yeah, I'm pretty
Oh,
sure that's the
okay.
beginning of that's the intro song to Kill Bill.
I think you might be right, Rex. I can't remember like what it specifically was, but it was something that I was just like, wait a minute, I know that
I
from
mean,
some.
the opening of Pulp Fiction, the first two songs, like there's the opening credits, and then it goes a very long. No, there's the opening scene, and then there's a very long opening credits where it's not like there's credits while stuff's showing. It's just black screen with stuff, starring this, and it's got that surfer song. Yeah, that one, and then it's like
It's called
it's a,
Ms. or Lou
Is
in
yeah,
that
Kill Bill.
the one that Pump It samples?
yeah. Well,
Yeah, it is.
yeah.
It's a banger.
Well, that's the one I'm talking about is the one where like a bunch of the girls are like walking down like a hallway in Kill Bill, and it was like dun dun dun. It's like an action like song.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know what that song is called.
Yeah, and it's used.
I feel like it's used in like iMovie.
It's like the team. It's like the team up soundtrack that they use everywhere.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh,
it's
bro,
like
what's it called? Yeah. Oh, now
dun,
that's really
dun,
gonna
dun.
bother me. Yeah.
Yeah,
Well, now I just
that
got
one's a good
the
one.
Ms. or Lou tune stuck in my head, so I can't
Well,
think of.
they do a great one in Pulp Fiction. They start off with a dun, like and then
Mhm.
there's a record scratch because the credits are so long that he has another song, and it's like funky boogie. It's like kind of like a funk.
The OSHA.
Bro, this song's a
Yeah.
banger.
Duh, duh,
Yeah.
duh. Yeah, it's like the classic team up song.
Wait. I want to hear the beat. We're gonna get copyright strike, or Sasha is.
That's okay.
It's on YouTube.
Yeah.
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 This song's fire.
Yeah.
This song's
Yeah,
fire.
that's you see that, and so I don't know whether he was the first guy to use that.
That his
But
songs
that's
definitely like,
you definitely see that for like people teaming up. I think it might have been in Deadpool or something in that team up.
yeah, but
phase, but,
he popularized that song.
Yeah, that was
100%.
also in Shrek.
Yeah. I love Shrek. The second one is my favorite, but I like the third one just because of like they bring in all the different like fairy tales and like
the second one's objectively the best, like objectively, but the first three are like the first one's obviously better than the third, but Shrek the third's still good. I just like didn't really watch. I never watched the fourth. Like I don't really care.
I don't even remember what happens in that one.
Yeah, it's like an alternate reality. It's like Rumpelstiltskin. I don't really care.
He wishes he never met, or he never saved Fiona or something, and then like he never has the kids. It's like not Groundhog Day, but I wish I never existed. I wish I never lived.
I think one of my favorite aspects of filmmaking
what a
is
wonderful
like the soundtrack or the score. I think it can really like shape like Baby Driver. Like the music in that movie is like a character.
Yeah.
Like it really is. Like it contributes to his character development and who he is, and it kind of reflects what he's going through and each time. And like Dazed and Confused. Even like Forrest Gump's great because it has a lot of songs from that time, like in the 60s and whatnot.
I'm still here. I just got to change my battery pack. Hold on.
I figured that's what happened. I was like, is she gone forever? But
she's gone for good.
I just leave you guys like on my stream, just like, okay, just like I'm going now.
Yeah.
I think I was on Jaren's channel one time, and he kept cutting out, and it was like me and I can't remember who else was on it, and we literally did like 80% of the stream like without him because his internet kept like cutting out. It was like kind of hilarious. So
that used to happen to
Yeah.
me and a lot on our live streams, especially for the Loki stuff. Oh crap! Now it's not coming back. Why?
Was it?
Yeah,
was it the
like-
intro for? Alex says it was the intro for Pulp Fiction, the Misery Lou song.
Oh.
Pretty sure that was Kill Bill though. I'm pretty sure the intro for. Oh yeah, it was Pulp Fiction. I'm dumb. So because the Pulp Fiction and Kill Bill are like kind of the same fonts. You're right, Alex.
Alex is on his shit, bro.
Huh? No, I haven't seen Pulp Fiction in like 2 years.
Oh, really? I watched it the other day, actually.
I've been back on the Wes Anderson grind. I'm getting ready for French Dispatch. It's gonna be crazy.
I'm so excited.
So
this will not come back. Can you guys hear me still?
Yeah.
I do not know why this is not.
Is it like your regular camera webcam or
Yeah. No, it's not my computer. It's my I have my camera plugged into a micro USB and it won't connect. So that's awkward. If it doesn't come back in a couple of seconds, we'll end the stream this way. I swear I haven't had a stream recently that hasn't had like technical issues. It's been like one after another, different stuff. You know, hold on. I'm gonna try to join from. Oops, shit, just hit something. I'm gonna try to join from my computer, my laptop, just so I can sign off because this is so bad. Give me 2 seconds. Well, guys, do you want to plug yourselves before we log off? Where people can find you, your Instagrams, that kind of thing. Oh,
Colin quit out too. Oh my god.
Rex,
it's
where
just
can
me
people
now.
follow you? Where can people follow
just
you? Letterboxd
Rex Cuneo. If you just look at Colin stuff, you should see it. I don't post a ton on Instagram. I'm a Twitter user. Letterboxd is already plugged in. I'll probably be changing that name because more people have been following me than I expected on there. Hey, what up? Sasha's back.
I'm back now. Oh.
Am I supposed to be quiet right here?
Okay, I'm back. Can you hear me, Rex?
Yeah. Colin died. Colin's house exploded.
Oh, he's back. I gotta add him though. There we go.
I have to be on my phone because my internet just like went out. So, so we just like lost like everything just fell to pieces.
It was just me in the chat for a second.
Rex was just chilling. Okay, well, this isn't even hooked up to my regular mic. Colin, Rex just talked about where people can find him. Do you want to give people where they can find you or follow you beyond the podcast? Because I don't want people to have to listen through this thing and I'm going to have to get off. So where can people find you?
Yeah. So Instagram, Colin Williams with 2 S's. Same thing on Twitter. Colin Williams with 2 S's. And then underscore. Sorry. Colin Williams with 2 S's and an underscore. And then Letterboxd Williams 991. You can follow the page That's So Hollywood Pod on Instagram and TikTok, and then So Hollywood Pod on Twitter. That took a while to get
Awesome.
through, but we're good. It's been a long stream.
It has. Guys, I want to say seriously, major thank you for coming on. I just always love chatting with you guys. You're the best people. If you're still watching or if you watch this on the replay, please go subscribe to their podcast. And you guys, people can listen pretty much anywhere, right? You have Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google Podcasts, pretty much everywhere it's available.
Amazon, and then YouTube. YouTube's like if you like the video version.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And now you guys are doing the clips, and then they have the best social media. Hands down, the best.
Colin is so clean with it, dude.
He's so good with the branding. He's just so like consistent.
He could do it professionally for someone. If teaching doesn't
really
work out,
probably
then
would, but if someone did pay me to run their social media, I think I could do a good job. But it is fun to do. So if you guys follow us on Instagram, like don't even worry about like the other stuff. But like Instagram, like I post a lot of fun graphics and questions and post the clips that like that we do for the podcast, and just have funny videos of me and Rex dicking around. Like it's all nonsense, but we have fun.
They're the best. Well, guys, thank you again. Everyone, like the stream, go follow Colin and Rex and the podcast, and I will see you guys in the next video. Peace out.
peace.